That was pretty fancy.
I know. We're getting fancy here. A little bit fancier. Welcome to our 196th episode of Gorilla Radio. It's been a busy day.
Yeah. Not a busy day.
Yes. I have barely looked at the brackets. So after everyone decided to look at the brackets and crashed the website, thanks, guys.
I think that was the IHSA's plan all along. Let's prolong the bracket reveal so we can get IndianaMat crashed.
Yes. And it did not recover. So we are on a new server. If you do not know, there's a website. It's called HoosierPrepWrestling.com that you can go to, and it will give you IndianaMat. Sorry, I'm trying to get the put it up on Twitter. So yes, go to that for now. The IndianaMat is propagating. It's mostly there. I know my home internet will get me to IndianaMat. My phone will not. So I'm waiting probably tomorrow morning or mid-afternoon. Usually it takes about 24 hours.
Hold on one sec. I got to stop this thing.
So it takes about 24 hours for us to propagate, and then we'll switch it over and everything will be fine again.
So that's exciting. How often does that happen?
What the
site crashing? I mean, it usually happens right around this time. Or
it's been about 10-ish years. I remember right the night of sectional, or no, it would have been the week before sectional that we crashed.
I already got it.
And that's when we got to this server. So so it kind of just was not recovering. And thank you to Andy Oberlin, who decided to talk me into switching over to the other server. And it looks to be running pretty good. So cross your fingers that it holds up and it is the right specifications.
So how many servers have you gone through since the start of the site?
This should be the third one, I believe. So yes. Downfall. It's not the downfall. We're coming back up.
We're like
IndianaMat is there.
We get dropped in the first round. We're gonna come back.
Yeah. So we came back, and I think some people were kind of laughing at the domain name.
You can go with several domain names, right?
Yeah. The HoosierPrepWrestling.com. I don't know where I got that from, but some people say I'm kind of savage or a troll. But here I am.
Both. I mean, kind of both, right?
Yeah. Yes. So, hey, it happens.
I mean, hey, it's a cutthroat business.
Yep. Defend your brand. So that was my day, and
my day was just looking at brackets.
Yeah. Yes. IndianaMat will be back. The name is there. It just is not working correctly yet on everyone's stuff.
Oh, yeah. Preview. He said regional preview. Title's confusing.
Regional review and semi-state preview.
Huh. So Vargo can't read good.
Yeah, it says regional review. Learn to read, Chris Vargo. No, they don't teach that in the Navy or wherever you were. Air Force. The what was he in? The Salvation Army or something, maybe?
I'm not disrespecting veterans, sir.
I'm not afraid of Vargo.
Thank you for your service. Let's move on.
Yes, even if it was the Salvation Army.
He lost a lot of genes that year, bro. I'm not saying that, man. I don't like that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
On Facebook, no. It says regional preview. I'm looking at it right now.
He's got you, man. They're probably playing a game on you.
Yes.
Oh, no,
I've already had a rough enough day.
On the title right here, it does say Mike and Joe talk about this past week's sectional and preview and review.
Oh. Probably in the comments. Yeah. Anyway, who cares? You guys know what we're talking about. You guys know what we're talking about. I'll fix it. The post on your page. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that one. We'll edit that. Yes, I see where it says now.
I got it. These guys are on here. Hooking it up.
Yes. I see where it says it now. I don't know. It's a new software. I got to figure out where to put that. So anyway, we are going to give a little bit of recap from last week.
Yeah.
It is Dustin's birthday, so if you guys know Dustin, send him a message, say happy birthday.
The big guy, man. We're gonna get him on this week too.
Yes, no, they do. Yeah. Dustin will be on Thursday, so we are going over Evansville on Thursday. We are going to do East Chicago today, and try to maybe do a little bit of Fort Wayne. Depends on how long we talk and how many people distract us.
Yeah.
With everything.
How about starting off? We could talk about the scale taking on some heavy hitters again.
Yes, man. We got to do a scale rankings.
Man, dude, my number one scale ranking is gonna be. But
the Calumet one's been. I mean, geez.
He was grandfathered in. That's crazy, dude. We kind of said it, but like, it's not like we weren't talking about this a couple weeks ago, right?
Exactly. I remember someone very vividly. I need to just do that mind thing and just go right to your rant on weight cutting, and then.
And dude, I'm not saying you shouldn't cut. Like, if you want to cut weight, man, you cut weight. That's your thing. But it's hard. It's a grind. It's not lost on me. Like, when those guys, it sucks that they're missing weight. That's a big part of the sport. Like, obviously weight cutting is, but when those guys are missing weight, like, good guys that compete at probably any weight, darn near.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, what are you doing it for? And now you're struggling, you're hating life. And now honestly, it's, on top of everything, now you have the embarrassment of being a subject of that post of, where'd he go? What happened? Was he injured?
Oh, yeah.
That's probably even worse than getting caught in a headlock by a number 4 out of a whatever.
Yeah, I think, because that's just wrestling that happens. And I mean, the weight cuts, it's a grind. I was telling someone today, it's like you're asking, 15 through 18, maybe 19-year-old kids to do something that, like, as adults, we're not trying to do. Like, if they're like, hey, man, you're not eating dinner tonight, I'd be like, you're out your mind, bro. And obviously there's a big part of that. But and we said it, like, I'm not trying to rehash all that. But I think that if you look back, like, if you spent that same amount of time preparing and getting better, like that you would do cutting weight, you'd probably be much more successful.
Yep.
And I'm not saying wrestle up a weight class, but it's just a tough grind, and you're asking kids to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And they have a lot of other things going on in their lives. They're trying to be kids and everything. So
yeah.
Nice.
Man, I wish they don't even have tamales, bro. You can get we don't have pierogies there. I wish, but tamales at the concession stand, chorizo tacos, and Modelo's. Especials.
Yes. Jay, we lock our rankings before sectional and let them run.
Man, I thought about doing that. I thought about just doing a top 10 every week of guys that are left and just kind of moving them around based on success and stuff, and just not on the page, but just on the post.
Yeah.
The middle school state was yesterday. There's a lot of stuff to cover. I don't know if we need to cover that right now, but I think if you look at 95 probably through 125, you see a lot of those guys in the rankings.
Yep. Yeah, go back about 3 years on middle school state, and you're going to see a lot of guys.
Dude, I bet. You guys, here's a little weight cutting trick for you. Go get some sugar-free Albanese gummies. I'm not lying, bro. Go read the reviews. Go Google sugar-free Albanese gummies and see what happens. Dude, they're so good, Albanese gummies. They're right here in Hobart. My boy's the GM there. He used to give us regular gummies, and I'd also throw some sugar-free ones in there. Those guys would be, using the bathroom.
Yes. That's an easy way the colon cleanser.
Yeah. The weight management, it's better now than it was back then, but there's ways to get around it. There's people that are Dude, I'll tell you the easiest way is like these guys are weighing in the first day on the percentage and saying, hey, uh, like we walk around at 106 when you cut before you do your skin caliper and everything, your hydration.
Yeah.
That's what we live. So there's ways to get around it. I don't think that like guys are dying. I haven't heard anyone dying from cutting weight in a while. But
no, that wasn't a good time.
no.
But yeah, so hopefully, I mean that's the text that goes on every Saturday of the sectionals tournament. It's they're in tournament. I mean, we're getting at 6 a.m. My phone's buzzing, and we're getting this guy missed weight. We're hearing this guy missed weight, and it's crazy.
I have a couple people that I'll text because the region's an hour behind, and just say, hey, like these guys have missed weight. Like, let me know if anything happens. And CP usually has had a couple guys, their scales have taken home a couple, medals. And this year is at Hobart, man. And
yeah,
it's tough.
So, the other things we will go over, our show is Friday. What is the date of the 21st? After the first round, we will promote it more. The Hangar, which is about 2 blocks away from Gamebridge, we are going to have a live, and I believe it'll be number 200.
It's in between. It's in between sessions.
No, it's going to be after both sessions.
Oh, I was about to say
8:30ish, 8:30, and we're gonna do it live. So we hope all of our friends are there. I know a lot of people already said they're going to be coming, so should be a lot of fun.
And it's the week after Triple B's birthday, so you got to buy him some alcohol shots. He likes to drink.
Yes, yes. The mayor of Evansville. So make sure you guys join us for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll get some people up there to talk. Maybe Tim Carter will talk about the great McDonald's of Butler. So I believe they have beer, allegedly. So they have food and beer and all sorts of things. I believe it is family friendly too. So
it looked like it, man. It looked like a pretty cool spot.
Yeah. So it should be a lot of fun, and we're gonna have the stage, and then after we're done talking wrestling, we're talk wrestling some more. So it should be a good time.
Yeah. So bring them out, and maybe we'll get some. I don't know. Be ready to. Their website was up all day. Yeah. Be ready. Yeah. Be ready to jump on the mic. I think we just grabbed people out of the stands last time, out of the crowd.
Yeah.
I just said, hey, you want to jump on here and talk? I think they thought I was messing around at first.
We're gonna have to get like a sign-up sheet for it. I know someone that's already wanting to be on it.
We're gonna have to get a mute button real quick, like the beep 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 beep.
Yeah. So after that, Sunday will be the state reveal show at 4 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. slow time.
Slow time.
Yeah. So myself, I will be on it. Coach Mike Gable and Greg Rakeshaw. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we will get the brackets a little bit early. That'd be crazy if we just got them like right on the show. And whoa! So,
I will not be on the show. I'll be watching. I think I'll be at practice actually.
Yeah. So it should be a good time. Always neat to. It's kind of cool getting the brackets early and seeing them and just like, oh boy, that's spicy. Oh, that's crazy. That's I take the first like half hour just looking through those draws that we kind of, the team race the ones that are gonna, be team race oriented and stuff. And yeah, so it should be kind of cool. So tune in. It'll be on ihsatv.org, .net, .com.
Is it on the Champions Network?
Yes, the Champions Network is it.
What is IHSA Champions Network.
IHSATV.org.
That might be that's a pretty good Greg Rakeshaw.
Yeah. Dude, he is loud. He has a booming voice. He has a booming voice. Definitely a radio voice. Just like Dane. I was on the Dane and Rex show earlier.
Nice.
So, and I didn't know if we were live or not. And then all of a sudden I heard Dane's radio voice. I'm like, oh yeah, we're live here, so I can't cuss.
I only did one episode of the Dane and Rex show this year. It was at the Al Smith and the Crow's Nest.
When is the
Record reveal
record reveal
Sunday,
Sunday 4 p.m.
and then party on Friday night.
Yes, Friday night at the Hangar. So that'll be a lot of fun, I believe. Are we doing what weight class? A lot of people complain. I could stop there.
Yeah,
I have to stop there. A lot of people complain.
They do.
Yes.
We can do a live reaction right from We'll go right from there.
Yeah, they complain about the little split sessions for Friday for state, and I like it. I like having that like hour between. You got 3 p.m. then 6 p.m. It's gonna be 106 through 144, so it's lightweights first. I like that hour in between because we get up, we can move around, go to the bathroom, talk, kind of decompress from that first half, and then go from there. So I kind of like it. I know some people just want to go straight through, but I like having an hour. That way I don't miss anything. Because I always feel if I go to the restroom or go grab something to eat, you hear the crowd roar, and then it's like, oh crap, somebody lost.
Yep. And I mean, I don't know. It's a little bit like more airy. Some people don't come to both sessions. I like it, man. I do. I think I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I did.
Are you hearing the beep, Joe? I think we have a yes.
That was a firefighter. He's just making sure everyone's aware.
Yeah. So anyway. There. Oh yeah.
It's mine, guys. I'm sorry.
It's yours. I thought I did. I was like, I didn't know if I heard. Joe's gonna come over. Hey, Joe's probably just down the road. He'll come fix it for you right now. He can join in. So, anything else we want to talk about before we get into recapping? We're gonna recap the regionals from East Chicago, and then we'll go over the brackets for East Chicago, and then maybe get into a little bit of Fort Wayne if we have time. So. What happened at the regionals in East Chicago?
Which one you want to start at? You want to start at the Crown Point Regional?
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, always a pretty good regional. One of the tougher regionals. I don't think there was a ton of upsets. Sam Westfall over Michael Skaggs by tech fall. Noel Verduzco 7-0. Oh, man, I'm sorry, guys. Gavin Lewis over Caleb Halfacre. Gavin Gendris over Max Quiros. Brody King with a big win in the first round over Hunter Mallory. Just a tough weight at 126. LT Hawkins and Dalton Robson 1-0. Robson was in some deep shots. LT kind of fought him off. I thought he was really close to a takedown at the end of the match. I don't know. I didn't see a lot of LT taking shots. No stall warnings, which I think Robson was in on 3 shots at the end of each period. So I guess you got to do more, but LT wins the tight ones, man. He knows how to pull those out.
Yes, he does.
Stanley with a 134 fall. Josh England over Santonio Sessa in the semis. Hyver tech fall over Luke Reed. Logan Haney got injured in the semis and had to fall down to 4th. It sounds like he's going to be able to wrestle the semi-state, though. So hopefully he's okay.
That's good. Who was he? Was he wrestling?
Reed.
Jaden
Lewis over Tegan Newell. Staples over Van Ticho 4-2. Got a late stall call there. Then Israel Sinat over Ben Clark. Hunter Whitenick over Caleb Chambers. I thought that was a pretty good match. Cesar Salas over Devin Kendricks. There's a real wild scramble in there where I think Salas put him to his back to kind of take the big lead there.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was a good match. And I think Salas is looking real good. And he is one that I'm just kind of keeping an eye. Obviously, we have him ranked pretty high, but we have you have some pretty good guys up there at 190. He can't sleep on him. He's wrestling real well, getting better every week, and it's going to be interesting seeing him. And he took out Kendricks twice now in a major decision. That's pretty good.
I think the top four at 215 were really good. Bartosiak over Reading 8-4. Abad was third. So real good weight there. Mitch Krowakowski, his four losses have been in the state tournament so far. So that group was the same group from the Crown Point sectional. And then a really good final, Hazlett over Simborski again, overtime. Did it put him to his back? Yeah, 3-2. I thought he put him to his back at the end of rideouts. Just kind of reversed it. So I know last week he pinned him. And then this week got the win in the finals. Definitely we talked about it last week. Super talented freshman.
Yeah.
Ultra athletic. I think on the board at one point, I think Dustin and Jason Miller somewhere would talk about him doing backflips last year at Heartland Duels. He's not a huge heavyweight, but he moves really well. He looks like he's wrestling with a lot of confidence. I think when you go in there and you have confidence and you're young at that weight, I think it makes you dangerous.
The scariest thing is a kid that at that young has confidence in himself. That's one of the scariest things that you can have. He's wrestling. He has a tough weight class. He's not going to have an easy path to a semi-state title, and he's wrestling well, and he's wrestling with confidence. And this is the time of year you want to do that. So he's going to be pretty good.
Man, I think. And Nick Duke said Salas, White, Henry, Farnell, semis maybe. I think White and Henry would be a really good semifinal match. I think that's just a real good, a really crazy stylistic matchup.
Yeah. You want to go to Hobart?
Yeah.
Go over some of the results there. Obviously, there was a big change at 165 where we were going to have a pretty big win or a pretty big match and didn't happen. So that changed the trajectory of the regional. So
yeah, Cruz Aweta over Francisco Rodriguez there by fall. Cruz is wrestling really well. Xavier Acuna 7-0 over Dash Burke. Lincoln Underwood over Daniel Mata by fall. Mata beat him early on at the Harvest, I think 1-0, and I think Underwood's won the last two or three, maybe last two. And we'll talk about the semi-state, but that kind of put Mata in a tough spot. Matthew Maldonado by fall over Seth Aubin. Again, another one. Maldonado over Cameron Woods in the semis was a really good match. Really changed another one that draws, and we'll talk about draws, I'm sure. Warren Brown by fall over Landon Westerfeld. That was his first loss of the season. Just a real crazy scramble. Ended up putting to his back and pinning him. Cooper Wilkins major over Robert Frazier for the Calumet Warriors, fighting Warriors over here. Yeah, I can. I'm sorry. 144. Daniel McGill over Christian Tapia by fall. 150. Man, a tough match. Kirksey got hit for two stalls in the final, I think 30 seconds to tie it. 2 stall points against Ortega. And then in overtime, a real quick stalemate, and then ended up getting taken to his back and fall. But huge win for Michael Ortega. I think that was a reversal of last year's regional, where I think Kirksey was the champ. Amari Leak, East Chicago Central, first regional champ probably in a while.
Yeah.
About 20 years. Over Anthony Bustamante. Gary Westside getting one through Giuseppe Moore. So I seen someone was mentioning Gary Westside on the board. Was it Riddle? Was it Chris Riddle? Was it asking about Gary
Riddle?
Westside?
Yeah.
I think Rashawn Stewart still helps there. So
that's good to see them getting represented at semi-state.
Yeah. Adrian Palat, obviously we talked about 165, changing it up a little bit. We were looking forward to that Costello-Palat match. Both are going to Purdue, right?
Yes.
Pilato over Celestino Garcia. I think his was spelled wrong on the watch list, but I put him as Tino Garcia.
Yes.
By Paul.
He's one of the ones that I keep having to fix with the rankings and stuff that we have different names for.
At 175, Emilio Tirado over Hayden Mancella. 11-6. Elijah Carter, Hammond Central, another guy getting through. I mean, I don't think Hammond Central got a lot of guys through either. 190, Aiden Granger. Kind of a crazy season for him. Was a backup, and then I think Tatum's out or he's injured, and then he got in, and now he's a regional champ by Tech Fall. He's in the rankings over Brandon Peterson, Lake Central. Everett McCullen at 215 over Deacon Caesar of Hobart. I believe he was a backup to start the year too. Yeah, we just covered 157. He said he was regional champ, man. Put some respect on him, regional champ Amari League.
Yes.
And then 285, a huge win for Luke Juris, back-to-back weeks over Tristan Masende. And again, Hobart got a lot of bad draws. I think Masende put himself in a good position with that win.
I mean, Juris did.
Yeah, yes. Juris, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, good regional.
Crown Point won the Crown Point Regional. Portage over Hobart, 187-152 at the Hobart Regional.
And then let's see, the Rochester. I was thinking Penn, but they changed that. Penn got all 14 through. 14
we did. We jumped right over the Berries, the Logansport Berry Region, but we'll cover that one last.
Yeah. Well, we got to save the best for last.
Save the best for last.
Yes.
Let me go to results here. So at 106, Nick Freeze over Vince McCoy, 17-9. Nick Freeze wrestling really well. 37-2 on the season, only 2 losses, I believe, at Al Smith. 113, Brody Blevins over a freshman Nicklin Slesser of Bremen by Fall. 120, Chance Smith over Aiden Diaz, 7-0. I think those guys have wrestled the last couple weeks.
Yep.
Back and forth. I don't know if it's the most embarrassing thing in the entire world. There's some things that are pretty embarrassing. It's not good, but the most embarrassing thing in the entire world, man, I don't know. I mean, that pick 6 that Patrick Mahomes threw last night, pretty embarrassing.
You're not wrong.
The Chiefs trying to throw touchdowns late and, messing up Super Bowl squares, that's embarrassing. Just take your out, bro.
Yeah, you should ask my daughter about what's most embarrassing, and it's going to be prefaced with my dad.
126, Angelo Vargo over Cohen Kramer, 6-0. Missed one of the guys in there, Josh Kite. I believe he missed weight there, or he was out. I'm not sure. I'm sure someone will let us know. But Lane Horn, 132, over Ryan Schmittendorf. I didn't know Ryan Schmittendorf was the NIC Wrestler of the Year out there. I didn't even know they handed out Wrestlers of the Year in the conference.
I didn't know either. They give like a coach of the. No, that's the.
They do give a Coach of the Year.
Yeah. So
B Flat got Coach of the Year. I heard.
Yeah.
Lane Horn remained undefeated on the season.
42 matches. Whew.
Yeah, that's what I heard. IndianaMat server. Old server was embarrassing.
Wow. Ouch. Man.
138, Christopher Fireball of Plymouth. Man, I've been waiting to say this the entire. I keep forgetting. He's out there wrestling some goggles too, man. You don't see a lot of guys out there in the goggles, dude, doing it up.
Yeah, it has to have about one of the best names in the state right now, Christopher Fireball.
Dude, I don't think I don't remember the last time I seen someone out there wrestling in goggles. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone out there wrestling in goggles.
I thought there was a college guy doing that recently.
Yeah. Oh, John, it was yeah.
But he almost had his eye poked out the one time, and he had to wrestle with the goggles on. And then people would pull him and stuff. There's a real good documentary on him. Viratis, Virati. I can't pronounce it. It's really good. Yeah. So, go ahead.
Over Will Mason, dude. Shout out to him. 4-3. Can't even get contacts in there, man. I like it. Braxton White, Kim. I had Kim over here trying to find the fire alarm that's with the low battery. Sorry, guys. She said she gave up, so I just had to deal with it. Braxton White over Colby Smith, 6'4". Dude, that's true.
Yeah.
He chose top at Al Smith a couple times. 150, Braddock Bailey over Ryan Hall, 8'7". 157, Brant Beck is remaining undefeated by Tech Fall, 41 and 0 over Trayvon Fleming. That should be a good possible matchup next week with MJ Staples.
Yeah, that should be a real good one.
Leonardo Santiago of Penn over Isaiah Butt of Mishawaka at 165. Danny Moon third there by Fall. 175, Vinny Freeman over Wyatt Davis. That's a good one by Tech Fall, 20-4. The Mighty Bison, Lee Lukaska. Okay.
That was a good move by Freeman going down to 75. I think he's looking really good right now, and that's going to be interesting seeing him the rest of the way through.
Man, I forgot that IndianaMat goes out there now. That's kind of is that a hike for those guys? Isn't IndianaMat over there by Fair Oaks Farms? Just seems like a weird direction for those guys. I'm not really familiar with my geography over there. I just know I like the farmhouse. I'd like to get some steaks there. Got a nice bone-in T-bone one time, about $125.
Just south of Bass Lake.
Dang.
It's not too far from Rochester.
Okay.
I don't know where Fair Oaks Farm is.
It's right off of 65, man.
Oh, it's far away from 65. It's about halfway between Rochester and 65, basically.
Okay. So if you guys, you never seen Fair Oaks Farm? They got the cows, man.
I think I've driven by it. Maybe I've heard of it.
Pretty decent. Yeah. Farmhouse is decent there. 190, Alessio Retzkoff. I hope I said that right. I'm sure I didn't. Of Penn over Edwin Garcia. I said that right. 3-2 ultimate tiebreaker. At 215, Malachi Evans of Penn over Talon Gardner of IndianaMat. Talon Gardner over Trey Dunning in the third and fourth place, or the semis. Kind of set up an interesting matchup. We'll cover in the semi-state brackets also. I think IndianaMat used to go to Logansport, right?
I think so, yeah.
As I say, I think so. I know they did. So yeah. I don't know why I said that. And Cameron Kaufman over Declan Guard, 4-1. Is all four of Guard's losses to Cameron Kaufman? Or three of them for sure, right?
There's a website for that.
Clint's in here. I see him over here commenting. Dude, Matt Henry knows what I'm talking about. I said the sign's misleading as it's 45 minutes east of 65. Dude, I think it says IndianaMat right there. Stop and get some cheese and some ice cream, man. They got ice cream right in their gas station.
Yeah. So, some good matches there.
Yeah. Penn get off 14. That's pretty exciting for them.
Yeah. You got 14 shots at getting – obviously, they're going to get some kids to state, but the more guys you have going, the better chance you have of getting good draws. Especially –
oh, man. Tim Carter bringing that heat. Get the fastball tonight.
Man. Come on, Tim. I thought we were friends. I promoted
Mishawaka.
Dude, I bought stock.
2 to Trevi and 2 to Kaufman. Thank you, Clint.
I bought stock in the Butler McDonald's, and it's gone through the roof in the past couple weeks. So come on, man. But I have like helped the economy of Butler single-handedly. Jeez, we're getting exact addresses.
Dude, hey. For all you guys leaving the region, heading down next weekend, go ahead and stop in there and get you some ice cream. If you're on the way back and your feelings are hurt Friday night, stop and get you a T-bone steak. They dry age it for about 25 days. I think it's about $125. They say market price, but that's what it is.
The market doesn't fluctuate that much.
Man, my sister took me there one time in these igloos outside, and they had a table set up. It was us and the family, and it started Noemi got chicken. OC got chicken. My brother-in-law got like a filet mignon, and they're like, it's market price. It's $90. And I already had in my heart that I'm getting this T-bone, right? And they're and I already said it. And My sister gets pork chops. Kim gets pork chops. It comes to me. I was like, I'm thinking about getting this T-bone, this bone-in T-bone, tomahawk T-bone. And they're like, oh, great choice. We aged it this long. It's so good. And this is why I feel like I got the green light, right? So my brother-in-law says, oh, I had it last time. It was really good. And I said, and she's like, it's $125. I said, you know what, man? Maybe I'm good. I don't want to get it. He's like, no, I'll get it. And then Kim was giving me these daggers because she was like pissed off that I was ordering this T-bone. And dude, it was good. On my Facebook, you can see it. It's as big as my head. It was pretty decent. I mean, I don't know if it's $125 good, but it's decent.
It is decent. Yeah. So Logansport won by Lafayette Harrison, West Lafayette. So
shout out to the Raiders, man. Probably dyeing their hair blonde too. I wonder if they still do that.
They have won. They quietly have had like a really good run. Sectional regionals. He had the graphic. Where'd it go? I thought this was. Oh no, this was only 1 year, but they've won like.
Because Rensselaer got him last year, right?
Yeah, they've won like 13 or out of 15 years or something. Quite a few consistently, which that's not easy, especially when teams are coming up, and that's not an easy thing to do. So, congrats to them. They're second in a row.
Yeah. I just say yes, man. They say, hey, you want this T-bone? I'm like, yes.
Yes. So,
if you guys want to buy me a T-bone at the hangar, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have T-bones. I'm just saying, though.
It looks like they have some good food. So, yes, we will have good food there.
The old 76er, I wish, man. Everything was on there except for the gristle and the grease.
So,
106, Reed Hayworth of Lafayette Harrison with Dylan Ayers of Carroll of Flora.
Yes, not the Carroll.
Now
Fort Wayne Carroll. Someone said Fort Wayne Carroll recently, and I about sent them a really bad text.
What I wonder if which Carroll came first. Was it Carroll Flora or the Carroll of Fort Wayne?
Probably Carroll Flora, because Carroll Fort Wayne used to be Huntertown, and
so you guys do have to be Fort Wayne Carroll. These guys are just Carroll.
Oh, the spotlight's watching us.
Woo.
You see it shining in my window.
at 106 pounds by Tech Fall. At 113, Cameron Noost of West Central. Another guy that missed weight there was Kobe Robinson. I don't know if he missed weight, but he wasn't in the bracket. A guy that was in the semi-state rankings. So Cameron Noost, 36-2 over Salmon Allor of Lafayette Harrison. Isabel Kaplan making a return to the semi-state for West Lafayette.
It's good to see her doing well, and she still has one more year left. And is this her second or third time?
Second for sure.
If only there was a website.
At 120 pounds of Benton Central, the Bisons, Joseph Mendoza, Beck Doherty, back-to-back weeks, 23-1 for Mendoza. Put himself in a good spot at the semi-state, I believe. By fall, Mendoza's wrestling really well. I think he was up a couple weights last year too. I'm sure. I know we got some Benton Central fans in the chat, so he's wrestling really well. Snuck in them state rankings. So represent, man. If you're ranked, please stop losing.
Yes, especially
this week. Just please make weight if you can do that for us. Huge win for Caden Stonebreaker of Seeger. Tech fall over at Alfredo Origel. Alfredo Origel was wrestling really well, and Stonebreaker 36-1. Tech fall, that's huge.
Yeah, that's a good win. Stonebreaker only one loss. That's he put himself in a good spot.
Is that not the Bison of Benton Central? Is that not right? Was that wrong?
No, that's Benton Central Bison.
All right, double checking. At 132, Sal Cybercrest over Aiden Salisbury. Sal Cybercrest 40-1 junior, but 12-5 decision. 138, Tyrion Tuttle of West Lafayette Harrison. I guess they just put Lafayette Harrison, huh?
Yes.
Over Israel Williams of West Central by Tech Fall, 18-1. At 144, Lincoln Frazee, back-to-back weeks for North White, remaining undefeated over Avery Stanley, returning state qualifier. 10-3 this week. So I think last week it was in overtime. This week, 10-3. I think both of those guys got pretty solid draws at the semi-state.
Man,
catching the heat tonight.
I know it's a rough crowd tonight.
Yeah,
they're feisty.
We didn't do the Bloomington region. We're gonna do the Evansville regional on what day?
Thursday with Triple B.
With the voice of the South, Triple B.
I will tell you ahead of time. I got a letter from a concerned parent from the South about a wrestler that was not ranked. I will read it live on the air.
Woo!
So it's pretty spicy. I got to tell you, there's a parent that is not happy about their kid not being ranked and making it to semi-state.
Ranked like in the state or ranked in the semi-state? Did Dustin
ranked
have
in the semi-state? I think she's more the mother is more upset about this not being ranked in the Evansville.
Oh, I know what we're talking about now.
Yeah. I got a letter. It is a very, very sternly worded letter.
Yeah.
I will read it on the air because it's pretty bad. And it's bad. I just gotta say that. No, not you, Kelly.
Not you, Kelly. 150, Caden Webb, Rensselaer over Nolan Brown of Faith Christian. 157, Carter Hages of Lafayette Harrison over RJ McCoy of Lafayette Jeff, representing Tomcat Miller in the finals. Pioneer got one through too, man. Pioneer used to have some tough guys back in the early 2000s.
They had a really good kid that was a really good wrestler that ended up not even wrestling in high school.
Yeah, playing football, right?
Yeah, he's a pretty good football player too.
165, Kevin Martinez of Tri-County over Zach White. 18-7, huge win for Kevin Martinez. Zach White's pretty tough.
Yeah, that's a good win. White's had some pretty solid wins this year, and Tri-County, they just started a program a few years ago, within the last 5 years, I think, and it's pretty good. They're already getting some regional champs.
I think that they've had some pretty good female wrestlers too. So, 175, Carter Ogborn of Rensselaer Central over Quentin McLeod of Logansport. The Berries, Felix representing Felix the Cat. 8-1.
Man, we didn't go over our the craziness I started with those clips from last week, did we?
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's more of an Evansville thing, right? That was a lot of Evansville heat. We can come after that.
Yeah.
190, Ronald Jenkins of Benton Central with Eric Harville, 4-1 sudden victory. Jenkins 30-1 on the season. Representing the Bison. Sounds like their Bisons are heading heavy to East Chicago.
Yeah. You got quite a few. Owen Pearson right there at 215 also.
Yeah, Pearson also regional champ over Martin Gazzo by fall, 116, 20-3. My guy Eric Spike's probably going to be there. He's always at the semi-state. One of my favorite people to see every year. Brings me tamales sometimes. Yeah,
especially when he bring you tamales, you can get real high on Mike's favorite people list. Yeah,
that's my dude, man. I like that guy. 285, Alex Luna defended his regional championship over Joseph Gutierrez of Lafayette Harrison. 7-4 sudden victory. So two-time regional champ Alex Luna of McCutcheon.
So yeah, it should be some good matches there, and yeah, I've been doing the clips on Facebook and all the other social medias, and I think they got your one about wrestlebacks. Why we don't have wrestlebacks got a little.
Yeah, I felt like they were coming at me like I was the one saying I didn't want wrestlebacks.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So we have a special guest coming in.
She's got a rant this week about wrestlebacks.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about wrestlebacks? Oh, geez, that's
a single elimination tournament. Let the best guy win.
Yeah, we should have them, right? No. Oh, geez, she's a savage. She's a savage.
What?
So, yeah, that one caught some heat. I thought that Subway one, man. It sounds like that Subway one's a known commodity.
Yes. We gotta go check their Google reviews. I know when we go there for baseball this fall, I will warn everyone: if you're gonna go there, get the light mayo.
Light mayo, man. Don't go heavy mayo.
So yeah, those are pretty good. We're gonna have some good. I'm gonna have to be on double time to get some of those clips out for, especially after Thursday's show. So we know Triple B's gonna have some good one-liners.
Always, man. Always.
So we will. Let's see if we can switch it over to the brackets.
Yeah, that looks nice. That's sharp.
Yes, I got these will be posted this week. I have them done. Someone help me with the font because the fonts weren't as good because you have to move over.
A true second. So, yeah. I think, man, I wouldn't be against it.
Against what?
A true second. Oh. Man, I still rather have the ticket round wrestle back, but
if we had regular wrestlebacks, we don't need a true second or third. I think that gets a little too. Yeah, I don't like true seconds. No one wants to wrestle after losing in the finals.
Man, remember during COVID and they had to like keep them on the mat and hand them their medal right after they lost? That was terrible.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I guess of all the things that happened during COVID, that wasn't the worst thing, but it wasn't either.
But it still was not fun. It's like sitting there, like they had to wait to give them the medal. Like, that kid just. And the pictures of them are like,
yeah, terrible, right?
Yeah, especially the finals. The other matches weren't. You can understand a little bit, but the finals, man. So, East Chicago semi-state. So, what do you? The top half, you got Sam Westfall, Ryder Albright, Achilles Canley.
That's a pretty cool name.
Yeah, and Francisco Rodriguez. We're not on semi-state.
Westfall and Rodriguez could be a good ticker round match. Rodriguez was at Bishop Knoll last year, had a pretty big win at Carnahan. Bishop Knoll got snuck in there. I think Sam Westfall, obviously number 12 in the state, number 2 in the semi-state. I think he'd be the favorite there.
Yeah.
I'm glad they got to wrestle too.
Mm-hmm. Reed Hayworth Harrison, number 12 in the semi-state, number 7 Tyler Quarles. That should be a real good first-round match. Chase Michaels of Portage and Vince McCoy, South End Riley. McCoy put himself in a pretty solid position. Some good wrestlers there, but he's in a good spot to qualify.
All 4 ranked in the semi-state. Quarles pretty tough coming out of that regional over there. He had a pretty tough match with Skaggs. Oh, no, Skaggs. Was it Skaggs? Yeah, it was Skaggs. Sorry, I got a text. So had a pretty tight match with Skaggs, and then Skaggs had a pretty tight match with McCoy. So if you do transitive property, it could be a possible good tick-around match. Michaels got in the lineup late, about midway through the year. So he's wrestling really well.
Then going down, Nick Freeze, as you said, wrestling really well. Real good freshman from Mishawaka. Remy Davis of Griffith. Julian DeLuna of Hanover Central. And Dixon Ayers of Carroll, Flora, not of Fort Wayne.
Yeah, Julian DeLuna, ranked 23rd in the state, had a real tight match with Stuckham this time. Thank you, Michael Skaggs. I was misinformed.
Cannoli.
Thank you, Brian Henderson.
Cannoli.
I forgot to say I'm gonna be on the mic partial, so that helps.
Nice.
I'm gonna be on the mic.
Tejan Newell.
Tejan Newell. DeLuna had some pretty good matches with Ocampo. One pretty good match with Ocampo. She beat him, I think, 5-4. So, but Nick Freeze has been wrestling really well, 37-2 on the season. Real tough freshman.
Yeah. The last quarter bracket, Cruz Arruda versus Andrew Hankins, and then Hayden Snowden versus Michael Skaggs. So I think Mike might know Michael.
I'm guessing. I think that could be a good guess. Cruz Arruda wrestling really well. I know he had 2 losses. Sam Westfall has avenged that loss at the DAC. I think maybe twice he has. And then I think he has a loss to Daniel Brown also. Coming off a Hobart Regional Championship. Skaggs should be a pretty tough one in the ticket round there. 26-8 for New Prairie. So that's a 2 coming out of Crown Point.
113 13.
I think Cruz and Westfall, two highest ranked guys there.
Yep, you have ranked guys in each quarter bracket, so that's a good thing. There's some that are not like that.
Nope.
We won't mention the semi-state, but we're not going over it today. So
Uh, 113, starting off at the top of the bracket. I thought this is a really good cut during the season. I didn't know if he was going to be able to make it to 13, but Xavier Acuna of Portage, ranked number 20, number 4, regional champion, has Ben Shamer of Valparaiso, a junior 5-5. But, he's Cook trained, so when Cook got you, you always have a chance out there.
the Valpo legend going back home.
Yeah.
Cook. Isn't Papa Cook helping?
I don't know. 2-time runner-up and a champ.
Cook squared.
Josh Raby of South Bend Riley, 29-9, and Salmon Allor of Harrison, West Lafayette, 12th ranked in the semi-state. Xavier had a ton of really good kid results. I know they had a death in the family a couple years ago. I think he took a little time off. I mean, it's really tough, and it's good to see him back on the mat doing well for Portage. He's tough, and I know when he was a kid, he used to wrestle at the highest level with a lot of those guys.
Yeah, that's good. He's coming on strong right at the right time, and put him in a real good position to punch a ticket to state as a freshman.
I mean, I'm sure it's tough to wrestle like for your older brother too. Like Acuna's the head coach there. I'm sure they have a different expectation.
Yes, it's just like I don't know. Brothers probably are a lot different than like father son. Yeah, brothers would be even worse because the brothers are usually hard on each other.
Yeah,
real hard on each other.
Next quarter bracket, Isabel Kaplan. We talked about her making her second trip to the semi-state. Number 9 in the semi-state. She'll have Nicholas Slausa of Bremen first match. 33-3 freshman. The winner of that will have the winner of Gavi Riano. He's related to the Maldonados. He's cousin Santana Dame, freshman for Lake Central, and he has undefeated number 1 in the semi-state, 3 in the state, Noel Verduzco of Lowell, who's kind of been on its hair this year.
Yeah. That's I'm excited for 113 at state. Obviously, I'm looking way ahead, but that's going to be one that I probably Sunday when I get the brackets. That's probably one I'm going to see where those matchups lie, and there's going to be some good ones.
Noel moves well. Tax doesn't back up. He's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah. Then go ahead.
Go ahead. We're just going to the next quarter bracket.
Brody Blevins, number 18, Mishawaka. Parker Barnard of Lafayette Jeff. Blake Doering of Hobart, and then Colin Strayer of Crown Point. So you got 13 and 18 potentially in the ticket round. So that's a tough match right there. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those draws. I want to say a death draw. I mean, obviously neither of those guys have a medal, but Strayer, real tough freshman. Was the middle school state champ last year at 120, so he's down a weight class. Verduzco's a middle school state champ last year, also I think at 106. So Doing has got a lot better. He was tough last year. I got back in the lineup about some injury, but that's a tough draw. And Barnard also, I think, was a semi-state guy last year. So Blevin Strayer tick around could be a good one.
Yeah,
I mean, Crown Point's going to need to get a lot of guys to state. I mean, the more you have there, the better chance you're going to have. You're going to try to make a run. I mean, so you need Strayer there.
Good thing, I guess, and for Crown Point right there, Strayer and Verduzco are on opposite sides, and they're the favorites to punch their tickets, so that could help them get a little bit better draw for next week. And you're always kind of looking for what's this mean for next week, obviously, with them being on the opposite sides because they wrestled last week. But sometimes you're going to have those guys that you're going to see 2 guys that are pretty closely ranked, and it might be a Crown Point kid, might be a Brownsburg kid. We can, for any team that's in the team race, that now one guy's going to get first, one guy's going to get third, and hence why we were talking about true seconds.
Yeah.
That could screw things up a little bit, I guess. So,
and Strayer 23-9. Those 9 losses are pretty solid. I mean, obviously they wrestled Al Smith. I think he took 2 there. Did he lose to Swarthwood and
Reyes?
I think Reyes. And then he took 2 at the Ironman. I think he's taking 2 to Verduzco now. So
yeah,
tough freshman. Just those 9 losses, you see that, and you're like, oh man, 9 losses. I think his 9 losses are pretty. I put them up against almost anyone.
Yeah, you got 4 right off the bat with with the Iron Man and Carnahan. You got 4 real tough losses there, and then you're going through and seeing obviously Swathwood, Reyes again, Thrasher, and then Verduzco twice. So yeah, that's pretty tough. Oh, he took 3. He took 3 at the Carnahan because he got 6th. So let's add another one to that.
Yeah. So real tough freshman. Just man, like they wrestle a brutal schedule. And I'm sure we'll talk about that also at Evansville.
Yeah.
Last quarter bracket there. Nathan Scott, number 11 in the semi-state freshman, 29-8. I believe he used to be a Crown Point kid, then moved out to New Prairie. I think that's what they were saying. Not that he was in the Crown Point lineup or anything like that. And he didn't. I don't think he moved to New Prairie for wrestling. I think they just moved to New Prairie for clear skies and less smog. Number 6 in the semi-state, Nash Burke. He spent some time in the rankings of Munster, so that'll be a first-round match, 6-11. Caden Parker of Penn, 17-10. Sophomore, and he'll have Cameron Noose of West Central, junior, 36-2. So no state ranked guys in there, but possible 7-6 with Burke. Probably about the best draw those guys could have got. I mean, any of those guys, you kind of missed all the state ranked guys.
Yes. So 120. Yeah, Joseph Mendoza at the top from Benton Central, the Bison. Benjamin Flick of Highland, freshman, and then Emmerich Ritter. Is related to Estel Ritter?
I think he's the guy that sells ice cream.
Yeah, okay.
Ritters.
And then Aiden Diaz from Penn. Diaz overcoming some genetics from his father. Way nicer than his father. Way better looking. Way more athletic. Do we need to go on?
Nope. Mendoza wrestling really well. Avenged his only loss of the year to Beck Doherty twice now. Put himself in a good spot. Him and Diaz possibly for a ticket round. I don't know if Diaz and Emmerich Ritter had wrestled at all this year, but Mendoza in a good spot there to punch a ticket for Benton Central. So has it been a while since Benton Central's had a state qualifier?
I'm on their thing right now. Their last time was 2018.
Oh, so
Bryson Ford placed 8th.
Oh, I remember Bryson Ford.
Yeah. Did you say his loss was he lost to Doherty earlier in the season?
Yep. Beck Doherty, yep.
So we do not have that in there. So I'm going to put that in there. While you go on and talk about about Lincoln Underwood.
Yeah, the next quarter bracket, we'll start on the bottom part of that. Colin Motes of Riemann, 31-6, number 9 in the semi-state, and Caleb Halfacre, senior, 25-10 of New Prairie, number 8. So right off the bat, 8-10. And then Lucius Cosgray of Twin Lakes, 18-14 junior, has freshman Lincoln Underwood, who was also a freshman sophomore state champ last year, or not freshman sophomore, 8th middle school state champ at 125. Ranked 9th in the state, number 2 in the semi-state. Put himself in a good spot. He's been wrestling really well. A handful of his losses are to Gavin Lewis, who we're about to talk about in a second. Next quarter bracket, you have Chance Smith, 25-11, sophomore from Mishawaka, against Gavin Longoria, a late ad for Lowell. I know he had been in the bracket for a couple times, different times when they're moving guys around. So he ended up getting in at 120, qualifying for the semi-state. So congratulations to Longoria. And then you have number 7 in the semi-state, Luke Need of Lake Central, sophomore, 28-11. And he'll have returning state qualifier Beck Doherty of Rensselaer, 26-11, ranked 24 in the state, 6th in the semi-state. So 6, 7, and 10 in the semi-state. So 6 and 10 to possibly wrestle number 10.
Yeah. That's a good solid quarter bracket there. And then
at the
bracket
bottom,
gods.
Oh, man. We didn't even kick this off, but, man, Hober got some brutal draws. I seen it this morning, and I was, man, tough.
I saw there's one we'll talk about here in a couple weights that it's like if you're like I don't want one of these draws. And then it's like all of them combined of the potential worst path to punching your ticket to state after winning a regional. It's, man, I don't know what they did, what Johan did to
One of
to the
the school
IHSA.
mascots.
Yeah. Man,
Um,
we pump them up last week, best mascots, and then they just got, man.
and dude, like, and obviously third ranking's out the window. Anything can happen. Is the first two rounds are single elimination. But man, this is the mental part of it's going to be huge this week. Just getting your head right and not looking too far ahead, and it's tough. So just going into that, Roman Marquez of South Bend Riley, a freshman, 26-17. Fourth place out of Rochester. We'll have Gavin Lewis, 25-3 on the season, of Crown Point, number one in the semi-state, three in the state. His three losses are one to Royce Malone, and two at the Ironman. One was to a world champ. So pretty tough. And then he'll have the winner of Alex Van Doren of North White, junior, 33-7, and number 12 in the state, number 3 in the semi-state, Hobart's Daniel Mata, who lost to Underwood in the Hobart Regional Championship. Probably the worst draw you can get if you're a Daniel Mata.
Yes.
Like in that bracket.
Yes, by far.
I mean, obviously, like if you had Dickman, who's a 2-time defending champ, that's probably the worst draw you can get. So someone has that. But in our semi-state, that's probably the one that they didn't want, I would assume, if you asked them. Yeah. Or maybe they do. Those guys, I mean, Lewis spent a lot of time in the Hobart community. Maybe maybe he knows his weaknesses. I think Lewis has beat him a couple times, but I mean, maybe he finds a way.
You never know. Crazy things happen every year at semi-state.
And, so Jalen Hanson's going to have his guys ready. That's part of what he does. He does a good job. He's a good coach. I think the mental side of the game for him is huge.
Yep. And you have nothing to lose. Crazy things happen.
And we're just going to roll right into the next Crown Point Hobart matchup for possible ticket round.
Yes.
First, top of the bracket here. Gabe Veet of Warsaw, junior, 28-11. And he'll have Seth Aubin of Hobart, senior, number 15 in the state, number 4 in the semi-state, 32-6 on the season. What is he, a qualifier last year, a medalist the year before that?
Yep, and a qualifier before that.
So every year, I think he's wrestled Gavin Gendris at the semi-state. So this year, they're just going to do it in the ticket round. He'll have the winner of Gunnar Payne of Attica, 22-9 freshman, and number 1 in the state, number 1 in the semi-state, Gavin Gendris, 29-2. So that's going to be a tough one. That's probably, I would say that Hobart did not want to see that draw. And that's like one of the ones when I opened the bracket, you see that and you're just like, man, that sucks. Both of those guys are seniors. One of those guys are going to not go. And this is the thing for wrestlebacks, right? I don't know if he would win his way back in, but I'm willing to bet that there's some coaches that opened their bracket this morning and was like, that sucks for them. We got a better draw.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet outside of Maldonado, who beat him, and Vargo, who beat him. I mean, probably Vargo doesn't want that draw either. His dad's in here. No. I mean, they're probably okay with it, but they're not like, that's not the draw they were hoping for, I'm sure.
No, that's not the draw you want. And you look at that, and if he had got third, he'd have been a lot better spot.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of get punished for winning the sectional and then you lose in the regional final,
Yeah. And that's one of those things that I always said. It's kind of it's always interesting when coaching at Carroll and stuff. I always thought coming out of the Carroll regional, we would always get better draws as a third place finisher than a second place finisher. And it was always kind of weird, is like, you'd get mad that you lost that semifinal match to a kid you should have beaten. And then you go look at it like, oh, we got a better draw. And sometimes if you get second, you get a better draw. And that's the crazy things that happen at semi-state, and it's about a draw. And
it didn't. They're the only two rounds that I really feel, and I know we talked last week about regional and wrestlebacks. The only two rounds I think are the most chaotic because there's no rhyme or reason to it is the ticket round of the semi-state and the quarterfinals and state finals.
Yeah.
And those are two rounds that there's no seed. There's nothing that like it just is like if we were seeding this, you got a guy with a medal there that's going to go home.
Yeah, yeah. If you're seeing this,
Yeah,
not really taking into account the previous weeks. I mean, you would as like head to heads, but Gendris is number one. Number two is going to be Maldonado.
3 is probably Vargo because they have a
Vargo's
head-to-head.
3, and then probably 4 is Auburn. Or yeah, Auburn. So,
and like it sucks. It's terrible. I don't like it. It's the system that it is. Um, it happens every year. It's going to happen this year. It's going to happen next year. It's going to happen 10 years. And I just hope when things like that do happen, that those like I know Zach's for WrestleBack, so I'm not like throwing that at him, but like we talked about it last week, I'm sure there's someone like, and I'm not saying any of these coaches, you could go against any bracket that you feel like there's an easier draw than the guy that got 2 medals in the ticket round, and they're like, yeah, we got the draw we wanted, right?
Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah.
That'll be one. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of eyes on that match. This was the Al Smith final last year.
Yeah.
After Seth Aubin beat the state champ in the semis, Charlie LaRocca.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's signed on to wrestle. I think he's wrestling at Tech, but and Gendris is wrestling at IU. I'm not saying that it can't happen. Like crazier things have happened. Gavin Gendris has had a pretty good run at the East Chicago semi-state in his 3 years so far.
Yeah.
So moving on. Pretty good bracket here also. We kind of just talked about if you're third. Cameron Woods, returning state qualifier, 25-13, ranked 20 in the state, 6 in the semi-state. You have Cohen Kramer of Plymouth, first match, 35-4, number 11 in the semi-state. The winner of that will have the winner of Evan Kreiderman of Hanover Central, sophomore, 31-10, and Caden Stonebreaker of Seeger, 36-1 senior, Logansport champ. That's a tough first round match. Another Stonebreaker's wrestling really well, but Evan Kreiderman's pretty tough. That could be a first round matchup that there's gonna be some eyes on there. 10 losses. They wrestle a pretty tough schedule. Stonebreaker's been there before, and then Cameron Woods won a wild match last year, first round with Mass Kiros, who we're about to talk about also. And so he'll have to win a tough one first, and then he'll have to win a tough one second. Ooh, Vargo. Kramer's going to beat Woods. Write it down. Ooh, okay. There we go. I like
put that on there. We can do that. I keep forgetting we can do that kind of fun stuff. Oops, I'll put it up there twice. So, speaking of Vargo.
I think, and Cohen Kramer, I know he had beat Josh Kite this year. I think he kind of benefited from Kite being out of there, right?
Yeah.
Because then Cohen Kramer would have been in the same semifinal as Vargo. And I don't know what the 3 got over there. If he was the 3, he would have had Seth Aubin first match.
Yeah. And then Gavin Gendris.
Yeah, then Gavin Gendris. So probably not bad draw for him.
Yeah. So speaking of Vargo, Angelo Vargo, Penn. He has Diego Betancourt from Munster, first round.
Also a transfer from Bishop Knoll.
Oh, man. Lots of that pipeline going there. Brody King of John Glenn, and he has Alfredo Origel from Rensselaer Central. Should be at number 10 and 12 semi-state. So that should be a good one. And then winner likely gets Vargo. And another one of those kids that's overcome genetics, better looking, faster, stronger, better wrestler, better technique. I mean, just probably, one of those other. Man, it seems like a common thing at Penn.
If he was in these comments, he'd probably be a lot funnier. Now he's a good kid too, man. I'm happy to see him back on the mat. I know his season was cut short last year due to injury. So Origel King will be a good match right off the bat. And then Origel lost the season last year for transfer. His brother was at North Newton. So that should be a pretty good tick around. Bottom quarter bracket. Shout out to Mishawaka Mary and Alex LaClava, senior, 33-7, making it through the Rochester Regional. He'll have returning state medalist Matthew Maldonado, senior, 33-3 last year, semi-state runner-up. The Maldonados have won a lot of matches in that gym.
Yes.
They have 2 banners, one hanging for his dad, one hanging for his uncle. Both were all high school All-Americans. I think on the broadcast it said David was an All-American in college. I don't believe he was. I know he wasn't. He was on the same team as Cale Sanderson, Joe Heskett, and those guys.
Not
On the
bad. Not
bottom
bad team.
quarter, you have what's up?
So that's not a bad team.
No, I bet he. Yeah, he is. I believe they have each other's numbers in their phone. On the bottom quarter, you're gonna have Aaron Duell of Harrison Lafayette Jr., 19-9, and Max Quiros, number 17 in the state, number 5 in the semi-state, 41-7. Quiros and Maldonado overtime match at the DAC to get into the finals to see Gendris.
Ooh.
So Maldonado's 3 losses. 2 of them are to Gendris, one to a guy we're going to talk about here in a second. And that could be a fireworks in the ticket round.
Yeah, a little DAC rivalry.
Some old names too. Quiros' older brother was pretty good for Chesterton back in the day also.
Yeah. The third girl to make it to semi-state, it was obviously Campo, Kroll, and Kaplan.
Oh, this year? Or
yeah.
And
nope.
Yeah, those 3. I thought you were talking about all time at East Chicago. I was about to give you some more knowledge.
So 132. Another one we were kind of interested in seeing how these draws shook out. Warren Brown, Maryville, number 18 in the state. Got Casey Smith of Warsaw. Derek Presson of Lafayette. Jeff, he has number 11, Dalton Robson. So that should be a real good match. I'm sure they have likely wrestled.
Yeah, Robson, I believe, beat Warren Brown at Al Smith. So it looks like good bloodline. Quiros, Jake Salas, cousins.
Nice.
Robson over Warren Brown. So Warren Brown ended up giving, we talked about it, the first loss, wins regional and kind of got a tougher draw with Robson. Robson loses 1-0 to Hawkins in the final of his regional. That's going to be a tough ticker round match.
Yeah. There was no good draws really for this weight. Obviously all 4 champs are pretty solid. So there's obviously one you'd probably rather have, but not an easy draw through there.
I don't know what that means. Okay. We appreciate your opinion. Thanks for chiming in.
Yes.
Next quarter bracket, Isaac Bukima also had a really good match with LT Hawkins in the semis at Crown Point. He'll have Aiden, number 10 in the semi-state, and he'll have Aiden Salisbury of the Loganport Berries, number 11, senior, 22-6. So 11-10 first match, and the winner of that will have Jose Ahmed of Highland, 21-13 sophomore, and undefeated junior Lane Horn, 42-0, number 4 in the state, number 1 in the semi-state. Horn last year lost to Hawkins 1-0-2, I believe. So that'll be a pretty good match there for the ticket with Bukima, who's kind of underrated, in my opinion, of the guy that does the rankings in the state. I set up so then next quarter bracket, you have Ryan Schmittendorf, Aiden Campbell. I believe they wrestled also. I think Campbell got a win over Schmittendorf. Is that true? Or did Schmittendorf beat Campbell? I think Campbell won that one. I'm not positive. 21-11 and 29-11.
Campbell and Schmittendorf. Let me see. Campbell beat Schmittendorf 8-5.
So that should be a good first round match right off the bat. And then Seth Duval of Harrison, junior, number 12 in the semi-state. He'll have LT Hawkins, number 6 in the state, number 2 in the semi-state. On the recommendation of Ryan Wilkerson on the Facebook page, I ended up moving LT Hawkins back up. I know he was 12. Maybe I put too much weight on a singular loss. 23-7, a returning state medalist. He's not afraid to win a close one.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm sure his dad has that Patrick Gray from all those close ones.
Yes, it grows by the week.
But he finds a way to win, man. He's a winner. He's wrestled more than 1 point matches in a day that I've wrestled in my entire life. 1-0 matches.
Yes.
Schmitty, 4-time semi-state qualifier. Congratulations. That's pretty good. You got to find a ticket this year. You don't want to be a 4-time semi-state qualifier. You got to scratch that and be a 1-time state qualifier at least, right?
Yes, exactly.
Bottom quarter bracket. Right off the bat, this will be an interesting one. Number 20 in the state, number 6 in the semi-state, Sal Cyberchrist of North White, junior, 40-1. And number 9, Porter Ivankovich of LaPorte, 35-8 junior. Ivankovich's pretty tough. I mean, he's ran into some pretty tough guys this year. That should be an interesting match. Cyber Chris only loss was to the Elwood kid. He got cradled. They also shouted it out on their Facebook page. I sent it to me, and I was like, man. And Cyber Chris was pretty high in the state at that point because he had a win over Aiden Campbell. Caden Garcia, another Mishawaka Marion senior, 37-5. And Landon Westerfield, number 9 in the state, number 3 in the semi-state, 9 in the state, 3 in the semi-state, 41-1. Took his first loss in the semi-state finals for Griffith. That could be a pretty good ticket round match if they get there. 40-1 and 41-1.
Yeah, it should be a good bracket. I think it looks like everyone's fairly well separated, so it should be a good weight class right there. Pretty solid top to bottom.
It is. Who's your? I'm not doing predictions. We used to do predictions, and then people throw that in my face, make me feel all bad.
Yeah. So 138 up top, you got Tiermine Tuttle of Harrison White, West Lafayette. He has Harrison Odell from Penn, and Michael Turner, number 11 in the semi-state, and Josh England of LaPorte, who's number 8 in the state.
Josh England had a pretty good win over Sessa, repeated it from the DAC finals, returning state qualifier, 40-5. He have Michael Turner for the River Forest Ingots. So that's a pretty cool name, a junior. And then, man, Penn just brings guys out, man.
Yes.
Like, I swear, like Hudson Odell, congratulations, 13-10. Terry Title's pretty tough. I think he's also been there 4 times to the semi-state. This will be his 4th trip, 17-1 senior. So England's pretty tough, though. That'll be a tough one. He's wrestling well. Just kind of ran into a pretty good buzzsaw in the finals of his regional.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Next going down, Christopher Fireball. We've been talking about him. Chase Peckney of Frontier, first round. Then Sonny Sessa or Santanio, as they like to put it in the brackets to screw up all my links.
You got a buzzsaw right out the bat, though.
Yeah, man, the Fighting Warriors of Calumet, Robert Frazier, can never overlook a Calumet Warrior. You get them on, man, if they wrestle that under the lights, Calumet wins.
Game over. Calumet's undefeated under the lights.
All you got to do is bring a spotlight to semi-state, just shine on that match. Frazier wins.
Tough draw for Frazier, honestly. I mean, he'll have 465 dual meet wins in his corner. Coach Watkins. I watched him on the pinfall with Danny Bell, given the history of the region. Man, he broke down the highest state placer and all the coaches and their highest state placing for all the teams that he didn't mention in episode 1. Shout out to Joe Caprino on there and Mike Reiser.
Nice.
So appreciate that, Coach Watkins. Sonny Sessa, returning state medalist. That's a tough one right off the bat. Christopher Fireball and Chase Peckney. We already talked about Fireball. Obviously, he's gonna be out there choosing top, getting some tilts with some goggles on. Pretty dope.
Yeah.
He might be the only guy left in the state tournament wearing goggles. So.
He might have been the only one entered in this tournament too.
I love it, dude. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. Evan Stanley, he's looking really good, and I'm excited for. Obviously, that's another one to see how 138 shakes out.
Let's go, Robert Frazier, represent the Warriors.
Yes, let's go, Robert. Bring that. Channel the power of the Calumet scale. Go sit on it, and it'll give you the power, the magic powers.
I don't know if Robert's from Black Oak or the Township, man, but represent, man.
I thought that's Chris Sabo. Wow, is that a reference?
That's good. From the Reds, man.
Man, you are just tell me you're mid-40s without telling me you're in your mid-40s.
I bet Brett Smith has that Topps Chris Sabo card still.
Yeah.
Next quarter bracket, you got Israel Williams of West Central, 30-9, junior. And Preston Manick of Mishawaka Marion, represented again, 37-10. And he'll have the winner of Cameron Hilson of Maryville, sophomore, 23-13, an undefeated sophomore. state medalist from Illinois, Evan Stanley, number one ranked in the state, number one in the semi-state. I believe he has all bonus wins this season at 35-0.
It's not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. Not too bad.
So, yeah. And then bottom quarter, Cooper Wilkins Portage, Walter Drews of John Glenn. They'll have the winner. The winner of that will have the winner of number 12 in the semi-state, Chris Williams versus Will Mason of Mishawaka, number 9 in the semi-state, 24 in the state.
Will Mason, I know we talked about him his freshman year, had a really good season. I think he was out for injury last year. We said he would give us a little Nick Weishan vibes back then. His mom, I don't know if she appreciated it. We seen her when we were at the lunch, but that's a good spot for Will. I don't know if him and Wilkins wrestled at Alsmith. I don't think Cooper Wilkins had his best showing at the Alsmith. I would be willing to say his dad would say the same thing. He's on coaching staff there.
Yeah.
But that'd be pretty interesting. First round, and the winner of that get Cooper Wilkins. Wilkins put himself in a good spot. If I'm being completely honest, I was hoping Robert Frazier was going to win the regional, and then he'd be in a better spot, and Cooper Wilkins would be having Sonny Sessa first round, who I think he's had a couple losses this year too.
Wilkins beat Will Mason 9-2.
9-2. So I'm sure they're excited about that one, but throw that one out the window.
Yeah. So next up is 144. Starting at the top, Braxton White, Plymouth, number 7, the semi-state. Wyatt Tudor of Delphi, the Oracles, one of our honorable mention names. Markel Shelton of Maryville versus Luke Reed of Valpo, returning state qualifier. So that should be a good first-round match.
Yeah, Markel, they told me when I was on the mic, I was calling him Marquel, but they told me I was wrong. They said they call him Marquel for a full year, and that he's such a nice kid that someone like laughed. It was like, his name's Markel. They didn't even correct him. It's a sweetheart, man. Yeah, Luke Reed's really tough, really good in jiu-jitsu also. I believe he's a Pan Am's champ in jiu-jitsu. Of his 4 losses, I know he lost to, I believe, Davis, Bishop Chatard, and the other 3 are Hyvert. He's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And then Braxton White there, senior, 32-5. So that'd be a pretty exciting tick-around match. Coach Smith will have his guys ready, I'm sure.
Yes, they are always ready. Lincoln Frazee, talked about him, North White, sophomore, undefeated. Jacob Pennington of Penn. As we say, Penn just brings kids out of the woodwork, and they're at semi-state. Now he has a profile on IndianaMat. So
congratulations.
So Julius Spencer, and then they're going to bring another kid in, and they're going to have like 50 kids with profiles because they just randomly put kids in their lineup.
They definitely get their guys their matches in.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
They definitely got load management because those guys got a bunch of guys that are really solid across the board.
Yeah. So Julius Spencer of Knox, he'll have Christian Tapia of Portage. So it should be a pretty good, solid quarter bracket there.
Knox, the Redskins, the fighting Bass Lake Danny Bradleys, right?
Yes.
Lincoln Frazee wrestling really well. I know he spent some time in the region this year. Some are getting better. I had to kind of look it up to say, like, oh man, like 37-0. Like, how real is he? How good is he? And then having 2 wins over a pretty tough Avery Stanley the last couple of weeks. This past one, 10-3. He's put himself in a really good spot to punch a ticket for North White. And as only a sophomore, the future's pretty bright for him.
Yeah. Should be a lot of young guys in that quarter bracket. So
150 kids on the team, man. I think they're all just trying to hang out with Beaver, man. That's what I'm
They're trying. Yes, actually, it's probably Maggart.
I believe it. Teaching them the secrets of the dodgeball.
The wrist in half. The Maggart wrist in half.
Next quarter bracket, another tough draw for the Hobart Brickies. Probably not ideal. I don't think it's the end of the world. It's not as tough as the other 2. But when you get a state medalist first match, when you're a regional champ, probably not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Logan Haney had an injury default in the semifinals of the regional. He defaulted to 4th. It sounds like he's going to be able to go. 14 in the state, 4 in the semi-state. Was a state medalist 2 years ago at 106. He's hit the weight room pretty well. Looks like he's probably walking around 150, which is good. He's definitely, I don't think he's cutting a ton of weight to get there. Probably lifting and being happy. That helps. D'Lo Castro of Warsaw, 2019 junior. He'll have returning state qualifier Avery Stanley, number 11 in the state, number 3 in the semi-state. Stanley put himself in a pretty good spot there, being the runner-up at Logansport, 36-5, 2 losses to Frazee, a loss to Stanley, a loss to Moses Stevenson, and a loss to Kirchner of Jennings County. So he's pretty good friends with one of the girls on our team. So we get the Avery Stanley updates. So every Sunday we have practice. I said, man, what happened in that match? She just kind of hit me with the shrug and said, you got beat that time. So it's a game of adjustments. So
that's probably one of the more brutal quarter brackets in the semi-state. And as I said earlier, Miguel wins regional, putting yourself in a good spot, and he's the lowest ranked kid in that quarter bracket, pretty much.
Yeah, like I said, like if you're a champ, Hybrid obviously couldn't have got him because he's the regional champ coming out of there. But if you're Braxton White or Lincoln Frazier, you're probably hoping you don't hit returning state medalist Logan Haney. Not that like it's the end of the world, like you can't beat him, but like of all the 4s, there's not a lot of 4s that have medals, right?
Yeah, no, not out of regional.
Yeah, unless it's the Mooresville regional. Which
yes, unless it's the Mooresville one. We'll
now the Crown Point regional.
Yeah. So the bottom quarter bracket, Jeffrey Hivert, New Prairie undefeated, dominating everyone. He's looking real good. Going to be fun seeing him throughout the rest of the tournament. Hunter Vanek of Highland, number 11 in the semi-state. Ethan Sebring of Faith Christian, number 12, and then Colby Smith of Mishawaka. So Hivert looking for his 3rd trip to state there.
Man, I said this at the Alsmith, and maybe I don't know if we said it on here or not. Hivert's really good. Number 1 in the state, number 1 in the semi-state. I thought the move to 44 was a pretty I don't think he was really big at the Super 32, like weight-wise. So I don't think he's cutting a ton. I think he's just kind of managing it a little bit more. He's sneaky good on top. Like, I think everyone gets hey, like he's the national record or state record holder for takedown. This is state unofficial, official state takedown record holder for Hivert. But he's really good in the top position too. And I think that's one of the things when I seen him at Al Smith was I think everyone's like game planning for the takedowns. And then when he gets on top, he's turning guys pretty quick too.
Yeah. So that helps with the added points that you can get in on your feet and on the mat there too. So
still beat Evansinski at Super 32 also.
So 150, Braddock Belding of Rochester, or Bailing, not Belding, Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell.
Best principal in the 90s.
Yes. Derek Bob of Munster, 1st round. Sophomore and a junior. Bailing came out kind of late this year and having a real good season. I know he wrestled a lot when he was younger. Justin Heidinger of Harrison, number 10 in the semi-state, and they'll have Tejan Newell of Crown Point, number 14 in the state and 4th in the semi-state. So pretty solid quarter bracket right there.
Yeah, Tejan Newell is trying to do the old medal at 106, jump 44 pounds, and then come up and get a medal at 150. So trying to punch a ticket there. That'll be a tough one with Bailing. But Tegan's really held his own. I'm actually really surprised how well he's been able to handle that weight jump. I was really impressed with his match against Acuna from Mount Carmel. I thought the weight would be tough. Like that's a huge adjustment. And he looks way healthier. I think that's a better way for him. He's lifting. So
yeah, that should be interesting. I would have to check my records, but I would guess that might be the biggest, if he takes a state medal back, biggest jump in 1 year for state medals. So I'm kind of rooting for him to get a state medal just for that. That's maybe kind of cool. Side note, I need to have notes on like wrestlers' profiles of like just random tidbits.
Yeah, that's a super interesting matchup. and I
Yeah,
think he moves well. He doesn't look like he's getting overpowered. So,
that's huge.
and it's gonna be good for him going forward because they got a Crown Point returns a lot, and they got a 144. That's probably one of the best guys in the country coming back.
Yeah. So going down, you got Michael Ortega, Portage having a real good senior year. Corey Gardner, Mishawaka, Dieter Gerst of Lowell, another senior battling injuries, but wrestling pretty well right now. And then Nolan Brown of Faith Christian.
Yeah, Brown and Dieter would be a good one right off the bat. Yeah, Dieter's had a tough go, man. I think injuries and some other stuff in there, in and out of there. I know, we live in Lowell, so it's good to see him. Hopefully, he puts himself in a position to be in that ticket round. Corey Gardner, Mishawaka, Michael Ortega. That was a huge move from 57 to 50. Talking to Dante Colza, it wasn't that bad of a cut. That after a couple of weeks, like they kind of looked at the weight, and he was closer to 50 than he was to 57. Big, strong kid. I'm sure. I know he's probably lifted with Jake Salas and those guys growing up over there. He's pretty tough. Maybe he hasn't. I don't know. I thought that his dad lifts a lot of weights. If you want to go see a guy pushing like 500 pounds on the bar, it's pretty strong.
Yeah. Going down, you got Caden Webb, Rensselaer Central.
We haven't done the middle school state breakdown. That's going to have to be on a different show.
Yeah.
New middle school rankings got some updates. I think Tony said what crashed the site.
Yes, probably was. Probably the emails he got, all the messages. So Caden Webb, Rensselaer Central versus number 8, Carter Hall, Hanover Central. Zach Kenny of
Jake said that's his boy too. Those are guys that like to lift weights.
Yes.
If you see some dudes walking around pretty jacked up, looking like they like to lift weights, they probably hang out with Jake Salas and Mike Ortega Sr.
Yes.
Jimmy Carroll's not as much in the weight room, I don't think. Anthony Carroll, though, he's pretty big too. He likes to lift weights.
Yeah. So Zach Kenny Griffith versus Ryan Hall of Penn, the token Penn sophomore, 13 and 12. So that, man, what doesn't belong? This 13-12 kid from Penn. Where's Penn get these kids?
Ryan Hall, he said he got 150 kids. That kid's punching a ticket. Write it down. No, I don't know, but he's been in the lineup. Zach Kenny, a real good season, ranked in the state. Carter Hall's had some really good results. Had a really good Harvest Classic. So Caden Webb's had an up and down season, 25 and 12, regional champ. So it's a toss up. That'll win some pick'ems for you. Pick that one right, you guys are going to be in the mix.
Yes. Forgot to mention, the pick'ems are live, so make sure you do your pick'ems. And here's you're playing for second. That's all I gotta say.
And you got a little bit of a blood draw right here.
Yes, this is a good one. Jaden Lewis, New Prairie,
multiple time state qualifier.
Yeah. 2-time state qualifier, I believe. Freshman, sophomore. Last year he did not make it out. And then Mason Sturgeon of Lafayette Jeff, number 7, the semi-state. You got Connor Stetzel of Triton, and then Marlone Kirksey of Maryville, number 2 in the semi-state, number 6 in the state. So Kirksey was a state qualifier last year. So 2 qualifiers likely hitting that there.
That guy sounds like he has better stuff to do on a Monday night.
I guess so. Sorry, you don't have to tune in. I mean,
hey, we appreciate your support. Keep watching, bud. Jaden Lewis, Marlon Kirksey, that could be a really tough tick around match. Kirksey lost that tight one to Ortega in overtime. Probably of the champs, probably not the one he wants to see, right? That's a tough one. So come down to Maldonado and
he's from Iowa. Hey, it's good. We got some Iowa people joining in. Obviously, they don't like semi-states.
Yeah, so that'll be a good one. Lewis and Kirksey, 2 teams that are going to be in the mix, Maryville and New Prairie. I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to have the firepower to catch Crown Point, but, always good to place high.
Yes. So 1-5-7. Another good quarterback. Good. No state-ranked wrestlers in this quarter bracket, but a lot of semi-state ranked guys. So not totally. Billie Eilish just.
Don't click it. She probably needs some money. Don't send her nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Carter Aegis. I don't have the power to click those. I'll let Joe do it.
Yep,
The
I
Logan
just
Smith champ,
I banned
35.
her. I need to fix this. So go ahead.
Let's go Raiders. He'll have Charlie Schaefer of Chesterton, 32 and 12, sophomore, right off the bat, so 7 and 11. Aiden Witten, sophomore, 22 and 15 of Penn, ranked number 6 in the semi-state. And Anthony Bustamante of Maryville, 28 and 11, junior, not ranked in the state, number 9 in the semi-state. So 9, 6, 7, and 11 there. Carter Hages and Bustamante might have wrestled at the Tom Cameron. So that one's kind of a toss-up. Another one that could bust your bracket if you don't pick it right. But Herr just put himself in a good spot there.
Yeah, that's kind of a pick'em quarter bracket, and that's free 10 points for.
Dang it, Tony! Now we're gonna get the worst the youth rankings.
I didn't know, man. Where celebrities are following up, chiming in. We got people from Iowa. Man, this is awesome. I guess we moved to this new platform, and all of a sudden, look what happens.
The bracket guys are pretty good here. You got the 2 undefeated guys on opposite sides of the bracket. We have number 1 in the state, number 1 in the semi-state, undefeated from New Prairie freshman, 37 and 0, Matthew MJ Staples. And he'll have Ethan Clampett Morales of West Lafayette, a senior, 16 and 11. Then in the next quarter bracket, you'll have Trayvon Fleming, a senior, 34 and 6 of South Bend Riley, 21 in the state, 5 in the semi-state. And he'll have a senior from Gary Westside, the Cougars, represent it, Giuseppe Moore, 20 and 6. So Gary Westside's been a drought for those guys for state qualifiers. Giuseppe Moore got a tough draw with MJ Staples.
And Trayvon Fleming.
So I think those guys are in the same conference too, right? So I'm sure Trayvon Fleming's got to see MJ Staples a couple times this year.
Yeah. So, next quarter bracket, the other undefeated guy, Brant Beck, the Fighting Zebras, Dominic Rivera of Hobart. Another Hobart great draw.
Yeah, I know.
Even if Zach Johansson ever get like the second best draw there.
And then 12 in the semi-state, Timothy James of Lowell, freshman, 19 and 11, and RJ McCoy, a sophomore from Lafayette Jeff, 26 and 15. Brant Beck coming into that ticket round with 4-1 and 0, a record and a state medal.
Yeah, that should
third place finish.
Yeah.
Is there 2 state medals?
No, I believe he lost Friday night his freshman year. He's pretty tough though. He's in the semifinals last year. He actually placed 3rd.
Yeah, so pretty good.
Not bad wrestler.
Lost to the state champ.
Years.
Yeah.
So and then you got Amari Leak of East Chicago Central.
Cardinals representing his home gym.
Yes. Gonna have all the fans there for him. He has Braden Reed of Mishawaka.
General Heavy Hands.
Speaking of celebrities, jeez. I mean, Billie Eilish and General Heavy Hands in the same room. Jeez, look who comes out for Guerrilla Radio.
Brandon Reed of Mishawaka, 21 and 19. I'll have to fight the hometown crowd. East Chicago, it's been a while since they've had a state qualifier too, I believe.
Yeah, I will give you that information here in a minute.
And Eli Guffey of Pioneer, junior, 17 and 7. And Griffin Van Titchell, 7 in the state, 3 in the semi-state. A junior from Crown Point, 29 and 9. Tough draw for Amari Leak. Being the runner up there might have put him in a better position to get a ticket. Not that Carter Hedges is a pushover, but Griffin Van Titchell has been there to state twice as a freshman and a sophomore.
Yep. Will Lott was the last semi-state.
Willie Lott, 2003? No, 2007.
No, 2009.
2009. It was getting close.
2003 was Will Kelly.
Yeah.
Or Jeremy Kelly.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah, his uncle's pretty good.
Yeah.
His uncle was an NCAA champion for the Iowa State Cyclones, splattled an Iowa Hawkeye in the finals.
Nice.
Pretty famous. Man, East Chicago had some coaches, boy. They had Scott Hinkle, who left and went to Purdue. They had Bill Kelly, who was an NCAA champ. They had Tony Davis from Northern Iowa, who was an NCAA champ. Pretty good run there for those guys.
Yes. And if you look at the IHSA placement history, Monado, it's like, jeez,
Yeah,
crazy.
Kelly, um, who like Hector Mendez. Dude, they had, especially like late '90s, early 2000s. They had some squads.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 Maldonados have went to qualified or placed at state for East Chicago Central.
And that's not even counting like the Manny Rodriguez of Hobart, who's also a Maldonado, and the Frankie Porras is also a Maldonado.
Yeah.
So those guys might know a little thing or two about wrestling. You can see those guys this weekend. They'll be helping run that tournament, sitting in the chair for the Munster Mustangs.
So 165. We're up that high. You got Adrian Palat of Maryville, undefeated, number 1 in the state. Hayden Hood of Harrison West Lafayette. Hood, number 6 in the semi-state. Bradley Rivera of Lowell. And he has Isaiah Boot of Mishawaka, number 12 in the semi-state.
Adrian's wrestling really well. Could send some pretty good training videos. He's training pretty hard. Heading to Purdue. Tough spot there for Rivera and Boot, and definitely a tough spot for Hayden Hood, who's a senior, getting Pellat first match.
Yeah. And you got Kevin Martinez from Tri County, senior, 38-1. Joseph Gonzalez Griffith, 31-12. And then you got Danny Moon, number 9 in the semi-state versus number 10 in the semi-state, Ben Clark. That's going to be a pretty good quarter bracket, and I'm pretty positive Tri-County has not had a state qualifier.
Yeah, 8, 9, and 10 there. Kevin Martinez, 38-1. Danny Moon, Ben Clark should be a pretty good match right off the bat. Clark, those guys get it done at the semi-state pretty well. He had a couple of twin brothers last year that did pretty well.
Yeah.
Put himself in a good spot there. Being the runner-up, probably not ideal for him, but not a bad area.
Yeah. From my history, 2016 was the first year of the Tri-County program.
So Kevin Martinez trying to make history.
Yeah.
If he does, I'll get on the mic and give him a shout out.
Yep. They have not had a state qualifier on the boys' side. So that'd be really cool to see. Yeah, I always like to make sure we shout out those guys that are their first state qualifiers for their schools, and that'd be really cool. So going down, you got Israel Sinnott from Hanover Central.
Yes, James 15. Is a fan.
Yes. And he has Jalen Johnson of South Bend, Washington. Malachi Neal of Munster versus Zach White Jr., number 18 and 15, potentially in the take around. So that should be a real good one.
Israel Sinnott looked really good in the regional championship match against Clark. He's wrestling really well. I think he's kind of peaking at the right time. Coach Bradbury, regional coach of the year, Coach Bradbury too. Congratulations. Has him going pretty good. They have some good training partners in there too. So that's his son, man. So I think he's going to be able to punch a ticket there. Him and Zach White will be an interesting ticket round match. So like you said, 15 and 18.
That should be good. And then last quarter bracket, we have another Penn kid. We have probably one in each weight class, I think.
Yep. All 14.
Yes. Leonardo Santiago of senior, 34-7, number 23 in the state. Andrew Schaefer of Chesterton, number 7 in the semi-state. 2 seniors battling it out right there. Then Tucker Herndon of Seeger and Celestino Garcia of Lake Central.
Tino Garcia, man. He was in the finals of the Harvest 2 years ago. He was a 2-year JV guy. So it's good to see him get in there and possibly get an opportunity to punch his ticket at 23 and 15. Maybe him and Leonardo Santiago wrestled this year. Santiago is pretty tough. He was there last year at the semi-state. So it's just not in Santiago, possibly in the semis with the top part, Palat, opposite of Palat. So those guys put themselves in a good spot to possibly be in the finals and get themselves a draw for the state finals, maybe a medal.
Yep. Going up. 175. Come on. There we go. Oh, that went up to 190.
Hayden Whitenick, number 16 in the state, number 5 in the semi-state, the Crown Point Regional Champ. Have Wessel Wardick of Munster, sophomore, 28 and 13. And the other part of that quarterfinal bracket, you have not ranked in the state, number 12 in the semi-state, Caden O'Neill of Mishawaka, sophomore, 27 and 11. And number 7, Quinton McLeod, the runner-up at Logansport, sophomore, 24 and 4 for the Logansport Berries. Whitenick, a senior, not as big as his brother. His brother's pretty big. But good for Hayden coming back. I know he had some injuries last year. He had to sit a year out. Good kid, good family. So his dad, I believe, is the head coach and put himself in a good spot there being the regional champ.
Yes, he did. So then going down, Emilio Tirado from Lake Central, Gage Bebick of Ileana Christian, Trammell Quadhamer of Harrison, West Lafayette, and Wyatt Davis of Rochester. Davis trying to go from to qualify to break the record for the highest differential in qualifying for state. You're gonna have a tough one there. You got number 8 and 10 potentially, so that should be a real good quarter bracket.
Yeah, both those guys state qualifiers. Tirado, a returning state qualifier from last year, 37 and 2. I believe both of his losses were at the Al Smith. He works with Coach Treveline, so you know he's going to be pretty jacked. Those guys lift weights pretty well. Coach Treveline out there doing the work, man. I don't believe Ileana Christian has had an Indiana State qualifier. I know they had some when they were a small class in Illinois. They've only been a program in Indiana for 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I don't even know if they've had. I don't think they were eligible to wrestle in the state series for until either last year or maybe the year before. I think this might be their second or third IHSA. They wrestled in the girls' state finals because that was not an IHSA event. I think last year might have been the first year they wrestled in the state series, and
I've had it on pretty good authority that they're going to get an influx of talent heading to Ileana Christian. So it's right there in St. John. Man, there's like a corner right there. And I don't know why it's in St. John, and people just throw their shoes there. There's a bunch of shoes. They call it shoe corner. There's a bunch of shoes on this corner. I've never seen anyone throw them out there. Just drive by on their shoes there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
if you things you'll see only in the region.
Dude, it's like kind of in the middle of nowhere. And it's just a bunch of shoes in the corner over there.
Yeah.
So Trammell Quadhammer, though, pretty cool name.
Yes.
Shout out to Trammell Quadhammer.
So next quarter bracket, Carter Ogborn from Rensselaer Central, the Bombers. Austin Ettinger of the Winnemac Warriors. Elijah Carter of the Hammond Central. I was getting ready to say Hanover Central. What are their nicknames? They are the.
Are they both Wildcats?
Hammond Central
Wolves.
That's a good one because that's a newer school.
Yeah, they consolidated it.
Yeah. Caleb Chambers of the Hanover Central Wildcats. So,
they should change their name to the Olympians, right?
Yes, they should.
Austin Ettinger, Winnemac. He had a really good sectional, kind of not as strong regional, taking fourth. That should be an interesting first-round match. Caleb Chambers wrestling really well also. So he had a tough one with Whitenick. So Chambers and Carter first match, and then the winner of that. So no state-ranked guys in there. Only one semi-state ranked wrestler in that quarter bracket.
Not going to have a perfect 175 weight.
Nope.
So Vinny Freeman, all the state-ranked guys got put in this quarter bracket.
Yeah.
Jeez. Vinny Freeman, number 1 in the semi-state, 3rd in the state. He took 2 losses at the Al Smith at 190 pounds. He has Isaiah Max of Seeger. And then they'll get the winner of Lucas Anderson, number 13 in the state, of Chesterton, and Hayden Mansilla of Hobart, number 18. And hey, guess what? Hobart kid did not get a good draw.
No, man, not a good draw at all. But sometimes you got to be the bad draw, right? So yes. That's a tough one right off the bat. Anderson and Mansilla, and then the winner of that gets Vinny, who's ranked number 1 in the semi-state, number 1 in the hearts of all the Notre Dame fans.
Yes, and the Michigan team, because Coach Borman was in their house recruiting him a week or 2 ago, and that went viral.
Yep, I've seen that.
I can't believe his dad let someone wearing Michigan stuff enter the home. That's ridiculous.
Probably not ideal, right? But Notre Dame doesn't have a program, so you gotta do your thing.
Yes. So 190 got Aiden Granger of Hobart. He number 20 in the number 20 in the state. Noah O'Brien of Harrison, West Lafayette. Ben Fedorchik of Valpo. Number 12 in the semi-state, and Edwin Garcia of South Bend Riley. So Hobart did get a good draw there. They got put in a good spot after winning. And they could because he could have gotten Kendricks. So
Yeah.
he got a really good draw compared to
best possible draw for Aiden Granger winning the regional.
Yeah, and he kind of got in the lineup. He's been in the lineup all year, but had to beat out a state qualifier to make the lineup.
Yeah, I don't know if it was injury or what, but definitely making the most of his opportunity. So it could be a possible see how it shakes out next year for those guys.
Yeah. So going down, you got Ronald Jenkins, number 16 in the state, Benton Central, the Bison. Camden Rosemanitz from Andrean, the Fighting 59ers.
Fighting 59ers.
Are they the Fighting 59ers, or are they just
the are the Fighting 59ers?
Okay.
Andy Minor is the mascot. I don't know why.
Andy Minor?
Yep.
Nice.
Don't have no clue.
He has freshman going down freshman at 190, Derek Wortley from Rochester. That's a pretty big freshman. And he has a tough task of Devin Kendricks, New Prairie, state placer. That should be a good one. Number 6 and 16 potentially in the ticket round.
Yeah, Devin Kendricks, man, he's a grinder. He definitely goes forward. Heavy hands, good hand fighter. Are all three of his losses to Salas?
I believe.
No, he has a slam. He got called for a slam also.
Okay, I was gonna say there's two of them, 6'4", 15'3". So.
Yeah, he got called for a slam in the Munster Superdome. So tough one there for Ronald Jenkins. But I mean, Kendricks, was he a couple-time qualifier, one-time medalist?
Yeah, at 215, 220. So down a weight class, down 20 pounds. So that should be interesting. Going down bottom half bracket, got Cesar Salas wrestling really well for a freshman. And he has Tierson Wolford of Winnemac, Bryce Montgomery of Maryville, and number 22 in the state, and Eric Harville of McCutcheon, number 10 in the semi-state. So pretty solid quarter bracket. Not an easy route to punching his first ticket to state for Salas.
I know we're saying he's wrestling pretty tough for a freshman. I think he'd be wrestling pretty tough for any grade. He's pretty good.
Yes,
day 2 of the Ironman. I'm sure I know Bryce Montgomery's taken a couple of losses to him this year. Maryville guys are always tough in the ticker round. Caesar, man, just taking care of business. Like even when he's like winning the big matches, he's not overly emotional, just kind of getting it done, going back, shaking hands, super respectful kid. Even like when they were going nuts at the MC, he was Mount Carmel duel. He was the last guy, got a good win and just went over and casually shook Coach Sturtz's hand and went back. Real good kid, man. The future's bright. I'm interested to see how the state finals shake out, not to get ahead of it, but he's wrestling as good as anyone that I've seen from Crown Point this year.
Mm-hmm. Then the last quarter bracket, Lascio Retzloff of Penn. He has Grayson Strickland of Chesterton. And then the next one, Weston Maddox of Frontier, number 25 in the state, snuck right into the last ranking spot. Brennan Peterson of Lake Central, number 7 in the semi-state. So pretty wide open quarter bracket right there.
Has Frontier had a state qualifier? I know they're a pretty young program also.
Frontier. Let's see. I am at the wrong weight class. I am at the right weight class. So Frontier. I am going to say yes. They had one. Danny Wendling and Colin Reagan.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about
2022, yeah. So, yeah. Colin Reagan was their first one in 2017, so not very many.
So, 215 pounds, number 5 in the state, number 1 in the semi-state, Jaden Bartosik, 39-2, avenged his only second loss of the season to Austin Reed in the finals of the semi regional. Logan Fredrickson of Bremen, a junior, 24-7, first match. Bartosik, a returning state qualifier. And then Peter Xavier Antonio of Lafayette Central Catholic, a senior, 19-12. And have Deacon Caesar of Hobart, a senior, 18-8, number 9 in the semi-state. Thank you, Hunter Hickman. Then the winner of that probably have Bartosik. Also, Bartosik wrestling really well.
Yeah, that's and he's coming out of a real tough sectional regional, so he's been pushed the past 2 weeks and going to get pushed again this week. And that's always one of those things that you want. You have some guys that aren't going to get pushed till semi-state, and I'd rather a guy get pushed, have to stay on it at sectional and regional and be ready at semi-state, because it's kind of hard if they know it's going to be a little bit easier to kind of put down cruise control at practice. And I think that's going to help him out, him and Krolowski Abad and reading. They've been pushed, they've had to be on it the past 2 weeks, and it'll help them this week. So got Malachi Evans, number 19, and then number 20, Mitch Krolowski of Wheeler. So that should be a real good first round match. 19 and
Mitch
21.
was a heavyweight last year at the semi-state.
Yeah. And then the winner of that gets Josh Burns and Martin Gazzo of West Lafayette. The winner there, Gazzo's number 10 in the semi-state.
Evans looked really tough. I thought when Vinny went down, he might move down, but stayed at 215, a good spot for him. Mitch will be a tough one right off the bat, but a pretty good spot there because I think there's some death draws kind of in the field.
Yeah. I think that was 215. That was going down to 190. I think 90 had a little bit more depth in there. I think Evans moves a little bit better there. I think there was talk of him going to 90, and I think that's a good move for him, staying up at 215.
Yeah.
Going down, you got Everett McClelland of Portage, senior. He has Sam Clem of Seeger, who's also a senior. Then you got Trey Dunning versus Austin Reading, 12 and 15 in the state, number 4 and 5 in the semi-state.
Yeah.
That's a brutal quarter bracket.
Trey Dunning beat Austin Reading last year at the semi-state, and that's kind of where I think it was first round of semi-state too. So I don't think it was a ticket round, and then Dunning ended up punching his ticket. I think it's an opportunity. Like, I know that CP, not Austin Reading or anyone in his family, but essentially, like they said, he had one bad match, and that was the bad match. So you have an opportunity to go out there and wrestle it again with Dunning. And then the winner of that gets McClelland, who's pretty tough also.
Yep.
So that's a tough quarter bracket.
Yeah, McClelland's beaten Reading twice, and he's beaten Dunning. So even though he gets a couple ranked guys there, he probably is doesn't mind his draw. Actually, McClelland's beaten Dunning twice also. So he's pinned them both, or pinned Dunning twice. So that getting a couple of ranked guys there, you're probably a little more confident. Obviously, you don't want to be too confident, but at the same time, that's pretty good draw there. So then bottom quarter bracket, you got Owen Pearson of Benton Central, Max Perez of the Calumet Warriors. That should be a good one. First round, Aiden Abad of Lowell versus number 6 in the state versus number 24, Talon Garner of Winnemac.
Yeah, Talon Gardner with a huge win over Dunning, I believe, in the semis over there to get in the finals. Aiden Abad moves really well for 215. He's an Al Smith champ. 2 losses. I know one's the Bartosik, maybe both are the Bartosik. I'm not sure. I don't know if he lost to in the semis, if it was Reading or Bartosik. But kind of, good spot for him. He's really tough. I think that would have been a tough draw for anyone. Abad is pretty good.
Yep. And then heavyweight, real good weight class, heavyweight in East Chicago. And I know we kind of have had our eyes on that because there could be some bad draws, and there ended up being a couple bad draws. Yes. So at the top, Cameron Hazlett, freshman. We talked about him earlier, wrestling really, really, really well. He has Aiden Dunafan of Tri County. The winner of that will have the winner of Damian Steers of or Stearns of South Bend Riley and Tristan McShende of Portage. Should
Both
be
of
a
ours.
good,
Thank you, Kevin.
yes. So Hazlett potentially versus Machende. That could be a really good match.
I think he beat him twice. I think he pinned him at the Trikoff and then a major, I believe, the second time. Is that something
I
to look
only
right?
have one on the on
Which one do you have? The
Indiana
fall?
Mat. So
Who did Machende lose to at the Al Smith?
Machende lost to Hazlett, Simborski, Trevi Hill, or he lost to Simborski and Hillman Conley.
So, I mean, I could be wrong there. Tough spot there for Machende. Like, that's a tough one. Hazel's pretty tough. 32. Or I think I was thinking Juris. I'm sorry, the other one.
Yeah.
So, Hazel had pinned Machende at the Trikoff. So, I'm sure they're going to try to make adjustments. But I mean, Hazlett's wrestling really well.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about it. You beat a guy that has 2 titles the last 2 weeks. Not a bad way to go into the state tournament.
Yeah, and wrestling well, and like you said, confidence and scariest thing you can give and that's I said that as a freshman, but scariest thing you can give a teenager is confidence in the sport.
He's been like at every age group the top guy. Like he's always been a bigger kid. He's done well. He moves incredibly well. Does backflips for a heavyweight, which you don't see a lot of. Just a tough kid. Got wrestling in his blood. I think we've talked about it before. My brother wrestled with his uncle at IndianaMat. He was a really talented wrestler. His mom was a good wrestler when she was coming up through middle school. She didn't wrestle in high school. Wrestling family. His uncle wrestled at IndianaMat a little bit. Super athletic kid. Sean Hazler Singer is my brother. So Cam's ultra talented, and the last couple of weeks he's looked like he's been on fire.
There's another heavyweight that does backflips. Can't remember his name offhand, but don't want to put that kind of comparison. But that's pretty. You don't see heavyweights doing backflips very often.
No, and super nice kid, man. Like when he's out there, like you see him shaking officials' hands, everyone's hand. I don't think he's a mean kid. You'd be hard to find people saying that he's a bad guy.
Moose is in the bracket. Who's Perez?
I think at 215.
Okay.
Max Perez.
Yes, we gotta call Moose.
Carlos Perez goes at some people in the comments sometimes, right? He doesn't hold his opinion back.
No, that's what we like about our comment section. Even this guy from Iowa says that we're just blabbling idiots, and we are, right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah, next quarter bracket. 2-time Logansport Regional Champ Alex Luna McCutcheon. I'm disappointed my boy Brandon Barden's not in here, hyping my guys up. He'll have first match, 24th ranked, 7th in the semi-state, Khalid Al-Azir of Boone Grove. Kind of tough regionals back-to-back for sectional and regional. I think Khalid Al-Azir got his first losses there. And the bottom part of that, you're going to have Josh Mayo of River Forest, sophomore, 23-9. And I'll have junior, 38-4, Declan Guard, number 12 in the state, number 5 in the state. 2 losses to Trevi Hillman Conley and 2 losses to Cameron Kaufman. Declan Guard kind of falls in a pretty good spot there for him to possibly punch a ticket for Rochester Zebras.
So when was the last Boone Grove state qualifier? Let's see if you can.
Pat Ridgeden in 2004.
Yep. Wow.
Let's go.
They had back-to-back 2003 Garrett Stemmons. Man,
Garrett Stemmons, pretty good baseball player. Huh? I used to play against him a lot.
Got a lot of tattoos. Joining us from Tennessee, and we're getting ready to talk about Tennessee boy.
Yeah, we are. We're getting there.
Yeah, we got Tennessee. Iowa's representing us. Man, we're
next quarter bracket, we got Joseph Gutierrez of Lafayette Harrison, number 10 in the semi-state junior, 19-10. And Hunter Crabtree of North Newton, not Gibson Southern, senior, 33-5. His sister played, I believe, was she a state champ? She medaled for Rensselaer.
Crabtree?
But she Rensselaer Central Stacia Crabtree. So then they'll have that match. Will have the winner of Mikel Ajer of Penn, senior 12-4, and Luke Juris of Hobart, 28-9, senior 18 in the state, 6 in the semi-state. Juris put himself in a pretty good position by winning the regional. Kind of kept himself out of a death draw um, with Hazlitt. So Hobart got one. Got a pretty decent draw there.
That's good.
Station, what is Station? Was she a placer? I mean, Hunter was just in here, can't help it out. She was a Rensselaer kid.
Let's see. I'm looking.
And she hits nukes too. She hits bombs.
From this year?
Fifth at 190. Thank you, Hunter.
Nice. Makes my job easier. I have not uploaded all those in there yet.
bottom quarter bracket. Number 7 in the state, number 3 in the semi-state, 29-5. Cameron Kaufman of Warsaw, big upper body guy, pretty exciting to watch. He'll have Miguel Rivera of Andrean, a junior, 19-12. And then the other quarter bracket of Ben Robinson, Rensselaer Central, sophomore, 20-16, and number 1 in the state, number 1 in the semi-state. Has 3 losses, 1 at the Carnahan in the finals to a former teammate, and 2 to Cameron Hazlitt the last 2 weeks. Senior Lucas Zimborski of Crown Point. I believe on one of the Crown Point posts, they said that the last 2 weeks don't matter. The only one that matters is state finals. I guess they didn't care about the semi-state, so this one doesn't matter. They're looking forward to next weekend, but they shouldn't look too far because Cameron Kaufman can definitely Ajadi. Okay. I believe you. I think we should put pronunciation on every bracket.
Yes. It's already kind of scrunched here.
Yeah. So that'll be a tough one. Zimborski, Tennessee. What was he? A third champ?
Yes.
Pretty good football player. Really good football player. Pretty good. Really good football player. Playing football in college. Pretty good top 4 there for heavyweight. I think that's one of the deeper weight classes in the semi-state.
Yeah. That's a real good weight class. I really like. That one we kind of had been earmarking as going to be some potential big matches, and it could be worse, I guess, with some of those guys. Obviously, there's some real good matchups, but should be some good wrestling in East Chicago. I'm sure that's where you're going to be headed.
I'm gonna be heading to East Chicago.
Yes, I'll be sitting in a nice suite in Fort Wayne. Just spreading out. They'll bring me food, and it's going to be a good day.
I'm gonna bring a stadium chair, I think, and have some padding and switch off on the mic a little bit. Try to bring some excitement to the East Chicago semi-state on the mic, mic on the mic.
Yeah.
Always a good day, man. I know we talk about it every year. I miss the old Maryville semi-state days of, shoulder to shoulder, breaking the fire code, no coolers, $12 cookies, Spunkemeyer cookies. We got tamales for you, man. Come up.
Oh man, don't do that to me. Don't make me.
East Chicago is some hard spots to see. Always good wrestling, always tough wrestling, always some crazy stuff going on. I feel like they always have good officials there. Always some of the top officials at the East Chicago semi-state.
Yeah, should be some good wrestling. Tomorrow we'll be back tomorrow, and we're gonna at least talk about Fort Wayne. Hopefully, we'll get Newcastle done too. We'll go a little bit faster. We won't have as much of a pre-show, so but yeah, it's obviously team race wise, Crown Point would really have to just not show up I mean, they're pretty heavy favorites, but you still got to wrestle those matches, and crazy things happen at semi-state. Crazy things happen at state. I know we were kind of looking. Crown Point got some pretty solid draws. Even some of the guys that were, lower ranked guys, they got in good positions. You still got to wrestle those matches, and a couple upsets here and there could make things. Lowell's going to be right in the mix. New Prairie, they both have some horses. They can still they pull a couple upsets with some of their other guys, and they're going to be breathing down Crown Point's neck.
Yeah, I think, man, it's. I mean, we talked a little bit. I mean, I know I don't know how much time we got. Maybe 15 minutes, who knows? But middle school state was yesterday, and there was a lot of good results for Crown Point. It'll be interesting to see how they fit some of these guys in the lineup going forward. And I know that Lowell's young. Lowell has a lot of freshmen and sophomore in their lineup. It could be interesting in the next couple of years. I think New Prairie, obviously, Hiver to be back. Staples is back. They'll get Harder Road back next year, I think, maybe. But Skaggs and Scott, and they're doing some stuff over there too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I know they got the Little Salis, I believe, won middle school state at 95. Louis Kinnison won it at 106. AZ Overstreet. So I mean, I don't know, they have some guys that will be in those spots, and then obviously we get pushed a little bit into Mount Carmel. So I think Koselke had a pretty good day, and I think he's going to end up at Mount Carmel. So.
Yeah, we can go over. I don't know. We'll find time to go over some middle school state results. Always a good tournament, and always a great look at that.
It's on USA Bracketing, so
yes. Go to USA Bracketing. You can find the results there.
I wish USA Bracketing had just a straight finals pull down. I don't know if they have that, just results. I kind of like the USA Bracketing system where you can click on a bunch of people and see.
You have to go to reports for the straight. Go to reports and final placements. Is that what you were wondering?
There we go, man. Look at you teaching.
Yep, I'm getting better at it. I'm getting real good at it. Following some of the girls' stuff, and it's growing. It's just like track wrestling. It's made by the same person, so it just modernized front end. I think a lot of the back end's probably pretty much the same. So
you got to go in there and go to final.
So final placement, individual reports, final placements, and that'll bring all your. The only thing that's semi-annoying, if you have my wrestlers, make sure that's not clicked on yes.
I did have that clicked on.
Yeah, that's right. It probably only shows one, but so then that has the final placements, and then you can click. The cool thing is you can click on the name and see more of their tournaments and stuff. So should be some. I mean, man, just looking through these brackets, I was watching some of the brackets, and I'm seeing all these. It's wrestling people have a lot of kids. Dude, I'm just looking at this. Like, you're seeing just some names that I'm pretty positive they are brothers and sisters, or brothers, or even there's some sisters in there. Where was I? There was a couple that I just looked at a bracket, and you're like, "Yep, I see the name. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like Corey Don. There's a Shrek, like Corey Don.
Yeah, wrestled my nephew. My nephew lost in the round of place.
Yeah, there's a Sam Rio. Hey, there's about a dozen more Rios coming.
So. I think she said there's one more after this. I was asking her because I thought that was. I know Sam, and then I think there's a little one.
Yeah, there's one that's like 6 or 7, I believe.
I know,
maybe 8. In that age,
man.
Yes,
man, please. I'm not saying that, but man, that'd be so sad for me if I had a kid now and my kid's like about to be out of high school. I'd cry.
Yeah. You got a Salas, you got Mason Baylor from Milan.
I mean, he took a pretty hard slam in the semis over there.
Yeah. Jackson Harris, his brother wrestles at New Haven. I was looking at some of these names. There was a Stilts. I thought it was Stitz, but I guess not. But there's another Kincaid. I'm just looking at all these names. Like, man,
Brian Kincaid loves the show. He was on a team with my nephew up at Sparty Duels.
And obviously there's some names of some guys that are. I'm still waiting for the first wrestler that's been ranked. Him and his dad have been ranked, so I think we're gonna have one probably within the next 4 years.
Jake Salas, right?
Jake Salas, what it?
Jake was ranked, and then no, I guess we weren't doing it then. Jake's older than IndianaMat. He was in the same grade as like Cosgrove, right?
Yeah, 2008, and so we started. 2009 was our first year, so right after he graduated.
So it was close.
That's yeah. So yeah, so yeah, it's kind of neat. It's neat seeing those names, and it's like, man, yep, yeah, you can almost guess some of those names where they're from. Um, I know Brody Weimer, his dad. Talked to him last night.
He had
Uh,
a really good tournament. He had a really good win over when after that kid AZ won nationals in Fort Wayne. He wrestled the next day in the duels and kind of beat him up.
yeah, so it's kind of neat seeing just looking at these names, and yep, that's a there's another Cameron Cooper. I assume that's another Cooper's son. So
Man, I still can't get in there.
so interesting. Check those out. Oh, there's another Tante coming. Cheesy pizza. Lincoln Henchman, he's really good.
He's really good, and he's like legitimately an eighth grader. So I don't know if he's gonna stay back a year or what, but he's gonna be a guy that's gonna be a problem. I think the kid from Sullivan,
McGammon.
yeah, Spencer McCam is gonna be that dude's good. He's gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
Like he's
he's
gonna
had
come
a
in
lot
next
of
year.
good national success. That'll be interesting. I hate to say it, but it'll be interesting if he stays at Sullivan. Obviously, he's had a lot of success where he's at, but at the same time, that's the world we live in. He's had national success. Why not go to those schools that are gonna get you on that stage? So
Yeah, I mean, obviously his dad's a Sullivan guy,
yeah,
possibly one of the best guys to never qualify.
yeah,
Um, and his kid's really good. I was watching. Obviously, that was the weight class my nephew was in, so I was kind of watching some of those, and just going back, it was like, wow, he moves really well. He's tough. He's gonna be right in the mix as soon as he comes in.
yeah. I don't like that everyone's contenders. Myra Coughlin, Region. I want to know whether like going to school, at least projected to go to school at this point.
Yeah, I think that's like I actually made a funny comment on, I mean, I thought it was funny, maybe not everyone else. I said that we should start putting out high school hats and asking them where they're going to go to high school at.
Yeah, yes. That's especially when a lot of them are from areas where it's easy to like in the region. It's not hard to go to a different school because everything's on top of each other. Around
Well,
here, it's a little
it's not hard to go to a different state, man.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
tough.
yeah, yes. Especially when Cersis and crew are they're probably at middle school state recruiting.
No, I mean, I don't know if they have to like go there and recruit because I mean, a lot of those guys go there to train, right?
Yeah,
And I get that part of it. Like, it's not lost on me. Like, you want to go train with the person that trains you. I get it, man. It's tough.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, we can go on the recruiting thing, but at the same time, it's not recruiting. It's you're trained with those guys, and
I mean, part of it's recruiting. I think
yeah,
anyone that's saying they're not being recruited, I would debate you. I would debate you to the end there.
yeah,
I think anyone that's like, yeah, like we just wanted to go be with our friends, and like, and no coach ever talked to you about it. That's weird.
yeah. It's one of those things that people are going to do. It's going to continue to happen. I don't think there's really anything you can do to stop it other than if
Nah,
your hometown program's good, you're going to stay there.
I mean, I don't know. Like if I think that the perception that you're only going to be a Division I wrestler if you go to high school A or high school B, I think that's a misconception.
yeah,
And I think you look at a guy and be like, well, we want to go wrestle these big tournaments. You look at a team like Purdue Polytech, like Mike Morgan was able to get Silas Foster into the Ironman,
yep,
and it wasn't like he was a champ. It wasn't the high school state champ coming in.
yeah. And obviously, Rossville had Weaver there too and stuff. And Mater Day took Schaefer there. You can get, that's a great way to get those. And hey, we even saw it here in Indiana with all the guys that went to Carnahan.
Yeah, I heard, and
And
I got some blowback for that. Like I was the guy who invented that, and I called
yeah.
everyone to ask them to go personally. So waiting on return text for that.
Yeah.
Cole Wiseman, really good for contenders. D'Angelo Chavez, Nick Beauchamp. I think he's a KV kid. Obviously, Henry Reason. I mean, the little guys are tougher because, I mean, I don't know how many of those 85s are going to high school. Elias Faith, I think's younger. I think 95 is kind of that cutoff, right? Salas, Rocco Carlino, I think is going back. Baylor. Salas tough. But you also got Luke Kennison in there, too, who's also a Crown Point kid. Hunter Pearson, Cole Carter Gary, Pont also a Crown Point kid.
Yeah, that
So,
should be
but
some. Got some great, good talent coming up, and obviously places like Contenders, the Fort, Mauer Coughlin, Midwest. A lot of those teams, those places are producing some really good talent, and I think it's going to continue. Oh, look, there's Deacon Gibbs. Imagine that, another Gibbs from. So there's a lot of talent coming up through Indiana, which is kind of cool to see. And these guys are going to be all push the guys that are in high school right now in the next couple years. It's pretty neat to see. We've talked about some of the younger freshmen. You got a freshman at heavyweight that's kicking butt, and we also have a 150 pounder that's doing really well, and should be pretty cool to see. So
yeah, I think, and that's been a really cool event, man. I think, yeah, I think that's a really cool event. They've done a really good job. I think the first one might have been in 2003 at Newcastle High School. So,
yep. So with that, we're gonna get out of here, I believe, and and
I
we
will
will.
for tomorrow.
Yes, we will have it. We'll be back tomorrow, probably 9ish, and we're gonna talk Fort Wayne and hopefully Newcastle, and then take a night off. And Thursday we'll be back with Evansville in the mouth of the South. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys later.